Happy Friday. Happy Friday. I'm not alone. We got somebody in here already. We're going to have a lot of people stopping in. I'm going to be right back. I was 90% done with a snack, and I got to finish that other 10%. Maybe I'll eat something later for Sluggo if he's out there. But for right now, we got to get a show going. So let's get started. I would regret it if people look back at the first episode and you weren't on it.
Yeah, well, I like that. It's called forward thinking.
We have one of the worst beats in the world. We do. Our beat is horrible.
Connor could shove that article up his ass.
And then I went to that game, and I was like, this is the greatest team I've ever seen in my life. I'm a Jet fan. This is going to be the greatest run ever. Yeah.
No, because if they take Aquanu, I'm not complaining.
Joe Douglas is the king of keeping shit close to the vest.
A 2, a 4, and a 6 for Darnold?
Did the Jets really ruin Sam Darnold, or did Sam Darnold just suck all along and we were just trying to talk ourselves into it?
And Hamilton is a player who can potentially make a very big impact.
And suddenly here we are today. You can't get rid of him.
Right. It's like a plague.
Joe Douglas was hired because he's not those general managers.
Okay, Luscious.
Somebody is going to fall just like Elijah Moore did, just like Michael Carter did.
You know, if you had one sentence to say to Joe Douglas, what would you say? So you would say, you had me at hello, and then give him a big old wet one right on the smack.
Okay, so we're going to talk about something that happened, an incident that happened this morning with my brother, right? He orders a Zach Wilson jersey. Now, he didn't order the expensive one. Like, I could understand if you ordered the crazy one that you're freaking out. But he ordered the DHgate one, but still, my brother's my brother. He's flipping out, and he calls me, and he says, I bought a Zach Wilson jersey. It's on order, and he's not having a good camp. Is he crashing? Is he going to be a bust? So I said, what are you talking about, man? What are you talking about? Zach Wilson's not struggling. What does this mean? And he says, and he sends me this article from Yahoo Sports article, where there's a little blurb on the Jets saying something about Zach Wilson struggling in camp. And I just laughed, man. And what's funny is that information came from before that crazy practice where he had like the most unbelievable practice. But everybody's forgetting, like, he had one bad day and everyone flipped out. It was like his first 3 or 4 days, he was like 80% completion percentage, 550 yards. It was like ridiculous. He's on fire. And then he had that perfect practice the other day. There's nothing wrong with Zach Wilson, my brother, but let's get to some business here. First, I want to say hello to Michael Lando, Nathan, Colgrove, Harlan, Abraham. You guys are all here tonight. Ryder and Talon's PA, Stephen Engel, Eminon. I know how to say your name now. John Nolte. Iowan is here right in the beginning. That's rare. Maybe we'll get the porn stuff early tonight. GVH, what's up, buddy? Michael Galizia from Florida, my good friend. What's up, buddy? And we got, who else? Who else is here? I got to look for unique names. You guys are chatting so fast. Dom C in the house. What's up, brother? Come in anytime you want. You got the link. We got to start sending Iowa the link. Salty Nalty, my buddy. What's going on, brother? Twisted. Hey, the truth is I was a little late because of snacks. Not because, I mean, I was upstairs on time, but I had some technical difficulty. But if I wasn't downstairs eating snacks, I would have been here faster. Let's just say that. Charles B., what's up? Sean McAteer, I cannot wait to see you in Temecula, brother. I will be back there. My brother doesn't live down there anymore, but I have a good friend actually in Temecula, and I definitely want to visit him because he has a cool movie theater and guest house and swimming pool and the whole thing. It's like a vacation staying at this house. Just Mess, Mark Reese, New York Jets 102. My brother, he's still mad at Yahoo. What's up? What's up? And, man, I can go forever. There's so many of you. Thanks for being here, but we got to get started because there are other people here saying, when's this dude going to talk about football? Old Dave, what's going on, brother? Good to see you. Kelly Wilson. I don't know. I picked the right night. Some guys here. Daniel Faust. It never ends. Buffalo Jets fan who has a link, but he has company, he says. So he can't be here. Did I say hello, Harlan? I think I said hello to you, Harlan, right? I didn't miss you, buddy, right? Okay, anyway. I got a special guest, so let's get to the announcements here because he hasn't been on this channel in a long, long time. Too long. So it is the return of one of my first ever Wacky Wednesday guests, here to bring some sense of normalcy to the chaos. Maybe, I don't know. Maybe it's Friday night. I've never been on with him on a Friday night. He might get a little crazy. You never know. Anyway, let's get this rolling. Let's get an intro for our friend. He is the fantasy master. He is the, what's the name of that technology that he's on? He's monetized on some other thing. Twitch. He's a Twitch king. He lives outside of Philly, so you know what that means. He's a cheeseburger eating, stromboli eating, Southern Pennsylvania pizza eating, soft pretzel loving, Wawa visiting, crazy ass Jet fan. Please welcome the greatest fantasy sports YouTube content provider on Twitch in the world.
Oh man, Jeremy, thank you very much. I don't think I'm going to be able to live up to that introduction. So thank you for having me on. Yes, it's been a long time. Yeah, and like you said, we are over on Twitch. We tried the YouTube thing. We really weren't picking up any steam. We've gone over there for 5 months. We're over 600 followers over there. And last night during the preseason game, we had our best stream over there. A total of 220 some odd viewers for that stream last night. So, but thank you for having me back on your channel. And I actually can't wait for your channel during the season. You and your brother doing the live streams during either after or before the Jet games is great content.
Thanks, man. I appreciate that. Me and my brother are itching to get started. We might even do the preseason. But hey, guess what? I got another intro to do.
All right, let's go.
So we're not alone. We're not alone. It's the Friday night hangout. You never know who's going to pop in. Ladies and gentlemen, he was one of the fastest growing Jets YouTube content providers in existence until he wasn't careful. And what happens when you're not careful? Life gets a quantity of it. And then you get really busy. And suddenly you can't run anymore so much. But then the baby starts to sleep through the night. You get the hang of fatherhood. And you make your return. And the growth is back. His takes were wild. And they piss some people off. But they're unique and they're fresh and they're honest. And isn't that what this is all about? Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome the newest and freshest new Jets father in the world! Talking Jets with Tigo.
What an intro.
I know, right?
It's always with these intros, man. It's out of this world. You love them, but it's just like, how do I live up to that hype?
I love doing the intros, guys. Love doing the intros. I ordered the jersey and immediately started feeling pessimistic too.
Oh, Charles, I agree with that there. I usually feel the same way. Usually right after I order a jersey, I'm like, is that the guy I should have went with? Should I have picked somebody else? But I got to do something. I'm still rocking the Decker jersey, so I gotta upgrade here.
Okay, so gentlemen, we got a lot going on. So my brother, he did me a favor. He freaked out a little bit about Zach Wilson, but it brings up an interesting point. So Zach, and by the way, this changes based on who's saying it, right? I mean, we have different takes. I trust Sabo, Rob Sabo, more than anybody. He says up and down. Yeah, he's had some down moments, but he said he definitely has moments where he showed growth and potential that you didn't see last year. The way he comes out of the huddle, the way he's commanding guys, talking to them, leading them, the way you could see by looking at his face that he's looking in more places. He's not following one receiver. He's checking down on his progressions. He's checking down period to other, the safer outlets. This is what I'm hearing. And I'm hearing there's some days where he's a little bit off. He's not doing it as well. And then there have been days where he's fantastic. Now he seems to be starting this tradition of being bad in the green and white game. If as soon as he has a great year and puts together a great season, that won't be an issue anymore, because in those green and white games, this is the second year in a row, we're still wondering, and he's still a question mark. The day he breaks out, it doesn't matter anymore. If he has a breakout season, you're not going to care that Zach struggled in a practice. But right now, that's the level of scrutiny. I want to know. We'll start with John. You here first, and then we'll go to Tigo. What do you think from what you've heard of Zach's training camp? Are you excited, neutral, and saying, let's see? Or are you worried and stressed and thinking he's having a bad camp?
Definitely not worried. I really don't care what Zach does in practice, because I'm not there at practice, so I don't know what the team's working on. So if he does have a bad game, maybe they were trying some new things, trying to work something out. So I really don't care how he does in practice, because I believe the coaching staff is trying to figure out his strengths and weaknesses.
Okay. What say you, Tigo?
So there's a few things that go into why like to use and kind of not use the Allen Iverson quote, like we're talking about practice, is, guys, it's practice, right? Like, where do you want to see the mistakes happening? It's in practice. Why? Because these throws don't matter. As someone who was a quarterback, I was horrible at practice. And I was horrible kind of on purpose, because you need to figure out what you can get away with. And where's the best time to do that? When you're facing one of the best defenses in the NFL in Buffalo, or when you're facing your defense on before the preseason starts, and you try to throw balls to see if you can fit them in tight windows. You try to test out your wide receivers' catch radius and see what they can and can't do. It's how you build chemistry. Like, it's not just having you go out in shorts with your wide receiver and throwing routes when no one's on him. The real way to build up chemistry with a wide receiver, a tight end, with a ball catcher or whatever, is to throw the ball when they're covered by, and let's not forget here, a really good defense. And that's what we have. And then the other thing, and I think John brought it up, is we have to take everything that goes on in practice with a grain of salt, because we don't know who's calling that practice, right? If the defense is calling the practice, they might ask for a specific type of play, because they're trying to see, hey, what if we do this cover 3 shell versus a double post route kind of thing? How does that work? And so the ebbs and flow of being good in practice doesn't really matter to me, because again, we don't know what the goal of that practice is. Is the offense calling plays and the defense is just trying to match that up? Or is it hey, the defense wants to see a specific type of play going up against them because they want to see this coverage? And so you really got to take everything that comes out of practice with a grain of salt, because again, it's practice. That's where you want the mistakes to happen. If it's week 1, week 2, and we're getting up and down and up, then I'll get worried. In practice, I want to see up and down. I want to see you trying to fit balls into tight windows. I want to see crazy arm angles. I want to see behind the back throws, under the leg. Like, that's what you want to see, because that's where you test those things out. I went overboard with the behind the back and all that stuff, but still, that's what you want to see. And I think Stefan made like a great point, which is like, we do have a really good defense. And so like, we don't know what's winning out. Is the defense winning out because our defense is much better? Or is it because of, there's a lot of things going on there, but I don't think it's a reason to be concerned.
Yeah, and I just saw you had a comment up there. It says from Kelly, it says, if he's inaccurate, it's concerning. Yeah, but I really don't worry about that in practice too much. Now, come game 1 against Baltimore, and he's 45%, 50%, somewhere in that range, and a couple picks, then I'm starting to worry.
Yeah, I think that what you have to remember is, and I know where Kelly's coming from, because you want to see when he actually throws the ball at somebody that he can throw it in the right place. But I think if you watch all his time in college, even high school, going back to high school, and you watch the games when he had some blocking and when things were working okay for our offense and he wasn't overwhelmed, but mostly his college career. The kid has arm talent. He's accurate. If he's inaccurate in a practice, Tom Brady had days where he was inaccurate in games and, of course, practices. It's normal. We're human beings. Babe Ruth struck out lots of times, right? I mean, it's in every sport. Michael Jordan had bad games.
Mhm.
It's in every sport. People are going to have bad games. I remember a game with Aaron Rodgers where we played them, and I think Green Bay scored 9 points or something. And that
That
was
was a
Aaron
bad
Rodgers.
Jets team too.
Yeah, and it was
Yeah,
a bad Jets game. People are off. People have Josh Allen last year against the Jaguars had an awful game. He was totally off. It happens. So you can't freak out from one practice. But
The
look,
Super Bowl losing Cincinnati Bengals lost to Hall of Fame Mike White.
right. I mean, things happen. Things happen. It's a sport, right? And like I don't know about you, but every sport I played baseball growing up, and I played football, and tennis, and all these sports. I love sports, right? And I grew up playing. I even went to a sports summer camp, and there were days where I was on fire. I was really, really good, and there were days where I stunk. So I mean, it's normal to have good days and bad days, no matter who you are. Yeah, and I agree with what Tigo's saying, and I'll take it a step further with as far as practice. Another thing that makes it difficult to tell is you don't know what Zach Wilson on each practice is working on, especially in the first week, because there were days during the first week you don't know. He might be trying to warm up his arm. He might be being careful with his arm. He might be working on something. I want to try throwing the ball in this many seconds. Right, I'm not going to run. I'm not going to run out of the pocket for these few plays. I'm just going to stay in the pocket, even though I can. You don't know what a person is working on.
Arm angle, velocity. That's a great point to bring up too. That's a great point. Like I didn't want it to go because we don't know what he's working on, whether it's a velocity thing, whether I wanted to make sure and emphasize how good of a point that is because we don't know what Zach is working on specifically.
Yeah, all the press sees is they're standing on the sideline watching. They have no idea what's going on in the heads of these players and everything. And it's like, and I believe the players and the coaches more. Like it's like that Zach's not coming in and into the press conferences and saying, "Yeah, it was a rough day. I struggled a little." He's not even saying that. He goes, "Today was great. I learned from every play." Like he's totally calm and fine. The coaches aren't worried at all. They're showing no concern. They're like, "Hey, Zach's doing great. He's exactly where we want him to be. He's better in the huddle. He has more command. He's more relaxed." They're saying all the right things, and I don't see why they would lie. There's no point in them lying. It's not going to change his performance when he hits the field game one. What do you think, John?
Yeah, agreed. It's not. I just hope this year he improves. I'm just looking at last year's stuff. Only completed 55.6% of his passes. That's got to come way up, and of course, only 9 touchdowns to 11 picks. He's definitely got to change that as well. But yeah, for all the hype that the beat is putting on Twitter and stuff during practice and stuff, it's just they have to calm down, and fans' overreaction has to calm down as well.
You have to always take into consideration too, and I don't think enough people are taking this into consideration whenever because like I think also when people tweet things out, they kind of tweet things out in a vacuum, and I think like a great example of that was like the Rich Samini Mekhi Becton tweet a couple of days ago, or I think it was like last week, where he's like Mekhi Becton was laboring through practice, and Mekhi had to quote tweet it and be like, "Tell them that I finished practice, you weirdo." Like. We have to take into consideration too that we've got some like all-stars on defense now. And so like Sauce Gardner I don't think there's such thing as a shutdown corner anymore because the rules don't let you be a shutdown corner. But what he is a shutdown player. Like that's just what he is, right? Like we're really going to be able to just put him on an island. And I think that's a really good thing. DJ Reed is legit. Jordan Whitehead is legit. Like Quan Alexander, I am so happy to be wrong on a take so quickly because I was not the biggest signing Quan Alexander fan. And then he comes in and does what he's doing for that defense in the linebacking room. Like immediately, it's one of those things where him struggling in practice isn't that big of a deal. And ultimately, we didn't draft him because we thought he was the most polished player or because we thought he was NFL ready or anything like that, because I didn't think that when he was coming out of college. What I saw coming out of college was probably a guy who has a top 5 NFL arm. He's a top 10 NFL athlete when it comes to the quarterback position, and someone who fundamentally, throwing angle, footwork, all of that stuff, when he's not in his own head, is fundamentally sound. All he needs is to speed up his process. And you only get to speed up your process and get more comfortable in your NFL speed by taking more reps. So it's one of those things I think everyone needs to calm down when it comes to like the Zach Wilson takes. I'm the biggest believer in Zach. I'm never going to not believe in the guy because he's got all of the tools. It's about this coaching staff making sure that we get those tools right and get him going in the right direction, because I believe in the kid and I think that he can do it. And he showed us in the last 8 games what NFL caliber football from Zach Wilson looks like. You know, I'm not going to stop harping on the fact that we lost by 4 points to Tampa Bay, a Tom Brady led Tampa Bay. A team that was aspiring for the Super Bowl.
It was a miscommunication. Otherwise, we won that game.
Right. Agreed.
Miscommunication. But physically, we won that game. Like it was a mental mistake that cost us the game. A mental mistake that I almost can guarantee you will probably never happen again because it cost us a game. And you know what? In a season that was a waste season anyway, first rebuilding season, it would have felt good to win. But at the same time, it's going to mean nothing moving forward in our history. And it got us Sauce Gardner. Like, we might not have gotten Sauce. So if we win that game. So I'm not saying it's good to win. I'm not happy that lose, or I'm not happy that we lost that game, but there's nothing we could do about it except that if we're happy where we are right now, if we like where our roster is right now and the direction we're heading, you don't change the past. The past is all just learning. And I'm glad that kind of loss happened last year and not this year or next year, when it's a game that costs us, a number 1 seed in the playoffs or a number 2 seed or, a playoff spot in general or a playoff game. Let's hope that mistake has put that in our rearview mirror, and now we don't have to worry about that happening again.
Yeah, now you say that, and the first thing that came to my mind would be losing a game like that. Like this year, we want to be, late November, early December, saying Jets are in the hunt. And then having a game like that and losing like that, and then all of a sudden, well, that's the game that knocks you out, like you just said.
Yeah.
And to put a grain of salt, right? Because I think every stat and everything that goes on, and I think Ryan made a great point about football minds don't become journalists, right? Because a lot of the journalists are the ones saying that Zach or whatever like that, right? And that's a great point, but if we take away the first New England game, right, week 2, where he throws those 4 interceptions, that's and again, you can't take away a game. You play every game, and the stats that you have are the stats that you have, right? But if you take away the New England game, where he has 0 touchdowns and 4 interceptions, that's a little bit better of a season, just statistically. It's a better season when it comes to something like that. So it's one of those things where, like I've said, and I'm going to keep saying, I'm not worried about Zach at all. The team around him is good enough to carry him, and there are 3, maybe 4 quarterbacks ever in the league at one point in time that carry football teams. Everybody else is scheme dependent, and the players around them dependent. Does anybody think that Kirk Cousins is going to Kirk Cousins on the Texans doesn't help the Texans win any games, right? And Kirk Cousins is a playoff quarterback. He's by every stat and every measure is pretty adequate. He's not a bad quarterback. Jimmy G lost the Super Bowl. Matt Ryan's been to a Super Bowl and lost. These are not franchise carrying quarterbacks. These guys are guys who need to be in good systems with good players around them. And that's the thing that we all need to get into our head. There's very few Patrick Mahomes, Aaron Rodgers, Josh. I don't even put Josh Allen in that situation yet. Josh Allen is surrounded by incredible talent. Let's see him when he loses an offensive line or a wide receiver, see if he can carry a team. but there are very few Tom Brady's, Aaron Rodgers's, Patrick Mahomes in the league that pull the team, that carry the bus, so to say.
I like it. Hey, just welcome Friggle D. Friggle D is in the house. Grandizer didn't get the chance to say hello to you before. He's our local Miami Dolphin fan. He hangs out. Paul Williams with a very funny comment as well. Twisted, we didn't get to say hello. Glad you're here. How you doing, Twisted? Hey, speaking of Mims, that's a really good example of what you can't tell from practice, because people thought, oh, Mims had a great first day and then he disappeared and he's not doing anything. And then when Mims had the press conference,
damn, what a press conference.
First of all, Saleh said afterwards, he's working, he's grinding, he's great. He's so much better than he was last year. He's so much more comfortable. He's improved his route running. And then Mims came out really confident. He's going, look at me. I'm like, I'm Diesel. I've been working my tail off. I've been working the whole offseason. You'd never know that from what the press will tell you from standing on a sideline watching practices. But that's not a lie. There's no reason to sit there and lie about Mims. Like, Saleh could just say Mims is okay. He's fighting for a spot. That's not what he said. He said he was shy. He was blushing over the guy. He was saying that he's looking great and he's grown and he's saying all the right things you want to hear heard about a guy. And I love Mims' confidence. Like, how do you feel about being what wide receiver do you want to be? What's your expectation? He goes, I'm going to be the number one receiver.
Right.
So what you want to hear to your guys. Everybody should think that they're wide receiver one. Everybody.
Yeah. Why not? That's what he should think. That's what he should believe. Especially a guy that talented. It doesn't matter if it's realistic or not. The point is, you want him to be confident. You want him to sit there and say, I'm just hoping to make a team and hoping I can help. That's not what this guy's saying. He's saying, I should be on the field. I want to be on the field every play. So they also only talk about he disappeared because he's not getting a lot of receptions, right? A wide receiver isn't just to get receptions. There's plenty of plays, running plays and other passing plays where they block. And that's what separates some wide receivers, and what makes wide receivers so excellent and so great to have on your team, is because they're doing more than just their receptions. They're actually helping you in plays that they're not involved in based on receptions. They're actually making key blocks, and they're helping your other receivers or the running backs get more yak. So, don't take that away from players as well, because that's important to have that on the field. By the way, just to slide this in, I heard some talk, and there was a question about Breece Hall, because he didn't get a chance to block a lot in Iowa in college. There was a play where he made a really great block and bought Zach Wilson the extra time to complete a pass. And that's always nice to hear, because he's looking more and more like not that we're not going to use Michael Carter, but he's looking more and more like a capable 3-down back.
And what do you guys think of Hall? I have him projected to lead the team in rushing yards. Right now, I only have him projected at 900 yards, but it's way too early to know if he'll be an every down back. But do you guys expect him to lead the team?
I think he does lead the team. I think that's very clear that he leads the team, and I think that just because of his ability, he's a home run hitting running back, right? Where I think Michael Carter is the guy that gets you the yardage that you need and then some, where Breece Hall gets you touchdowns. And I think that's a great way to look at it, right? Every time Breece Hall touches the football, there's the possibility that he breaks it off for a touchdown. Where Michael Carter is the guy who's going to break it off for a big play. And I think that's the best way to look at it. If you hand the ball off to Michael Carter and you need 6 yards, he gets you 10. Right? That's what he does. He's so elusive and he's so hard to bring down in the open field that's where he shines. But I don't look at Michael Carter as the guy that's going to take the ball, break off for 90-yard touchdown. And I just think Michael Carter's the guy who gets caught. Breece Hall's the guy who makes it to the end. And so I definitely look at it and say, if we're looking at just rushing yards, my expectation is that he's somewhere in the 750 to 900 range. So right around where you predicted, but I also expect him to be a threat in the receiving game. So if we're talking about total yards, I think he goes over 1,000, because I do think that he's in He does help in a receiving capacity as well. So probably anywhere from 200 to 300 receiving yards in that capacity.
And that's what I do have him at. I have him at 200 yards, 1,100 total. Dom C posted something, 800 rushing yards, 350 receiving, and 9 total touchdowns. So, I mean, combined, we're just about exactly the same there.
Okay. So Rob D, we could see you, but somebody else may have gotten hidden. Somebody may have been accidentally hidden. This happens sometimes. If you can figure out who's hidden, let me know. We could scroll up, find another message, and unhide them. Sometimes it happens. It's a pain in the neck, but it does happen. So sorry.
Sean McAteer says, "Sorry, dude, I must have pushed something."
Yeah, but Rob D is not hidden, but he may have hidden somebody else by mistake. So if anybody notices somebody missing, just Oh, I didn't even see Ablab Studios is here. What's up, brother? Yeah, of course everything's going to be fine. We're going to be fine. This is I'm not going to let anybody take us down. And don't get too mad at the media also, because we got to remember the media is just words. It doesn't affect anything. It's like, believe me, our players aren't paying attention to it. They're not going to cause us to lose games. Let them have their fun. If Zach Wilson turns out to be who we think he is, it doesn't matter what the media says about him.
And he doesn't need to be that. That's the biggest thing. Right. This year, with the team that we have, I've said this, and I'm going to keep pounding the table for this. We need him to be Kirk Cousins. That's it. It's year 2, guys. Can we get adequate quarterback play? That's all I want out of the guy. Why are we asking him to be a top 5 quarterback in this league in year 2? Josh Allen, who now is, I think, is he the front runner for MVP this season? Isn't he?
Oh, yeah.
Right? Like he's the voting favorite. He didn't go to being voting favorite MVP in 2 years. He went from year 1 being worse than Zach Wilson to year 2 being league average to year 3 being one of the best quarterbacks in football. Right? And so the expectation and the jump that these fans have that Zach needs to be like a superstar blows my mind. That's not how this works. It's not how getting better and like things work. No one goes 0 to 100, right? It's a slow progression. Sure. That's just what it is. That's why you draft guys who are closer than you draft guys who aren't. That's really it.
Absolutely. Quarterbacks come in all different flavors. Some start hot right from the start. Some take a few years to develop, and it's a progression. It doesn't matter which. It really doesn't. What matters is, did we find our guy? What is he going to look like after? You look at him year 3. And if year 3, he, like year 2, each year he has to grow, but year 3, you want to see a bigger jump. By year 3, you want him to be a top 15 quarterback. You want to see some special things happening. After year 3, if he's not, then you say, okay.
That's where you start worrying.
You start worrying. Is this going to happen? Because if it doesn't happen in year 4, now we're in big trouble. Because then he's going to be, maybe that's his peak. Typically, not always, but you start to worry. It's kind of like you worry like the Giants are worried right now. Like, as much as we want to put a question mark on Zach Wilson, imagine the question mark Giants fans have on Daniel Jones. Like, he is year 4 now, right? So he's really
Tua. How many
Tua, right?
Like Miami fans are looking at Tua and saying, like, because this is the year, right? You got to evaluate Tua this year. Because you got to know. You have to figure it out this year because you have to decide on that 5th-year option. That's the big thing here, right? With these first-round quarterbacks is you need to know by year 3 because the 5th-year option is the big deal here. And so when you're looking at these things, you got to be able to evaluate it. Mm-hmm. And it's just like, how confident are you in your guy by the end of year 3? Because that's what matters.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a funny, like, you have 2 Dolphins fans, and you have one Grandizer who's such a gentleman, and then you got Pete Stakes who just wants to aggravate people. And
the funny thing is like if you want to talk about any other position, like, I'll hear you out as a Dolphins fan. Like Tyreek Hill, I get it. Guy's a monster. That's great. But like, if you're gonna try to make fun of our quarterback, a quarterback who's in my opinion, a top five arm in the NFL. I think there's 2.5 arms better than him in the NFL versus Mr. wet noodle left arm Tua Tagovailoa, who's not going to be able to hit Tyreek Hill deep once. It's just, come on, man. You got to try a little bit harder to try to get under our skin, especially coming like from the Dolphins this year. Like, I don't know how you look at the Dolphins and you're confident in that team with all the things that are stacked against it and Tua's under center. Like, you might as well start Teddy. Like, that's a better option.
Yeah, for Pete's sake, man.
But
So Grandizer's right. Hey guys, we've had a lot of people coming in and out of the stream. We've been holding over 40 people. There's not many likes. If you're having a good time, hit that like button, because the guys that jump in and are not into it, they don't hit the like button. But the ones of you that are have to help me out and hit the like button. So it takes 2 seconds. If you like this, if you're enjoying it, if you're a fan of the content or this show, like right now that you're seeing and enjoying, hit the like button. Help us out. We'll get more people in here. It'll make the show even more intense and more exciting. We'll get more chat going. So hit it up.
Not to go back, I remember you said somebody got blocked. Somebody said, is it Arkansas that got blocked?
Oh, you think Arkansas may have gotten blocked?
That's what somebody posted in the chat.
Oh, but he's a kid. He's smart enough. A kid that age knows how to like come in with a different account and tell us that, But you know what? He's a little bit of a punk anyway. So well, let me find it. He's the one that said I used a clickbait title. It's not. It's not true. It's not clickbait. That's not what clickbait means. Clickbait is when you make something up and you lie. That's really interesting. So you make a title like this person stinks and gives reasons that aren't true. It doesn't mean you're allowed to make a catchy title. People think now that catchy titles to catch people's attention and want to click is clickbait, and that's not what it is. Clickbait is when you don't get what you expected from the title. You know what I mean?
clickbait would have been if he made the title, Zach Wilson so bad, might not win starting job. Like, that's clickbait, right? Because he doesn't believe it, but that's a clickbait title.
Right. Arkansas is not hidden on the channel. He's fine.
Okay.
Right. Oh, okay. So here's a perfect example. Iowan is saying, right, he wouldn't be here if it wasn't worded like that. I know he's joking, but I'm saying, but that's just the point. The point is, yes, I'm trying to get people to click and come in. Yes, of course. Of course. That's the whole idea. What am I supposed to say? Boring Jets, don't click.
As YouTubers, that's the point, right? Like, you don't want a super uber clickbait, but like everything's a clickbait. You get less than a second to try to convince someone to click on your video, right?
Yeah,
you get less than 30 seconds to try to get them to subscribe. You got to be a little clickbaity.
Mm-hmm.
Clickbait is if I said with Stephen A. You notice how everybody's doing that? They're trying to, like trick people so that that guy, that sports guy from ESPN is on their show, and then you click on it and he's nowhere to be found. That's clickbait. Saying Zach Wilson is struggling in New York Jets training camp ? Is not lying. It's saying a question. Zach Wilson, like I'm literally saying Zach Wilson struggling in New York Jets camp, and it's in response to what some people are saying. That's not a lie. It's like the truth. That's what we're talking about and how we started the show. We're talking about the fact that ESPN or Yahoo Sports is creating a perception that Zach Wilson is struggling in camp. So it's not clickbait. It's am I creating a title on purpose to look interesting and make people click on it? I admit it. Absolutely, yes. But I do want to try boring Jets show, don't click as the title and see what happens.
People would still click because of the satire, right?
Yeah.
Right. You putting don't click will make people click.
Yeah, don't click, don't watch this show. It stinks.
It's like putting a do not touch sign on anything, right? Like most people don't have the urge or the want to touch like random things, but the moment you put a do not touch sign, everybody touches it, right? Like it's what happened when I was in Italy. Like we went to Rome, we went to the Colosseum, they put a do not touch sign right on like a very it wasn't that deep. It was like that far away from like some stone. It was like, hey, don't touch the rock because this thing is older than your entire family lineage. And I was like, yeah, you guys are dumb. Now I'm not only am I touching a rock, I'm stealing a rock. And now I have a piece of the Colosseum in my living room.
Yep. And just a quick message to Pete Stakes, not to be rude. I'm not yelling at you, cursing you. I love that you're here. It's a support to the channel. You're welcome to be here all you want, and have fun. It's cool. It's totally cool, man. But I'll say it every time because it's true. The Jets haven't won a Super Bowl since 1969. The Dolphins haven't won a Super Bowl since 1973. It's not that much of a difference.
Right.
The Dolphins will always have that undefeated season, and we always get to see what's left of the team sipping wine as before they're all gone. And the Jets have Joe Namath and winning the most important game in the history of the NFL. Mm-hmm. So since then, right, and there's a difference of 4 years there, but pretty much in the past 51 years, or for you 48 years, 49 years, whatever it is, neither team has a Super Bowl ring. What that means is I don't understand the cockiness. I don't understand the swag. You're one of us, dude. Your team has broken your heart. They had Dan Marino and didn't win a Super Bowl. Do you know how hard it is to grasp that? If we had Dan Marino, I can't even imagine. How does that feel? You're Dan Marino and couldn't win a Super Bowl. That is that's like really, really, I mean, that's what every team dreams of, having that franchise quarterback, the elite quarterback that's up there with the greatest in history. And they don't have a Super Bowl ring from it.
It's hard. It just goes to show it's hard to win a Super Bowl.
Yeah.
Like, that's just really, like, it's hard to do the damn thing.
And the other thing to say about that is the Jets have had great runs. They've had exciting runs, and so have the Dolphins. It's not that different. What have the Dolphins done in the last few years? Like, why would a Dolphin fan talk smack? I don't talk smack against the Dolphin fans because why would I? I'm a Jets fan, but they don't have any more right to talk smack to us. Because What have they done? You could talk smack. I mean, even Aaron Butler, it's a little weird that he's on every single Jets channel, but he could talk smack as a Ravens fan. A Kansas City fan could talk smack. A New England fan could talk smack. I mean, these are Steeler fans. These are teams that actually have something to talk smack about. You're a Miami Dolphin fan. You're the same as us. You're the same as us, dude. Your team has done nothing for you because not winning the Super Bowl, that's it. And what excitement. Have the Dolphins been in the playoffs every year? And like for the last 10 years, have they been giving you great excitement? When's the last time the Dolphins were in a AFC East championship game? An AFC championship game. When's the last time? Because the Jets, I know, in 2010, 2011, 2 years in a row. When's the last time the Dolphins were in one? So, and I'm just talking, I'm talking facts here. I'm not talking smack. So I'm just trying to understand why you'd come into a Jets channel and talk smack. What have you done?
So what leg do you have to stand on?
Yeah, like I just don't get it. Like, why not just be friendly with us and say, I wonder which one of us will get good and win for a change?
Right.
Like, you know what I mean? Because that's how I talk to Don. That's what me and Grandizer talk about. Me and Grandizer chat privately off this channel. And what we talk about all the time is how we both are the same. We're loyal fans that would love to see our team win. And we even wish each other luck on a personal basis. Like, I don't root for the Dolphins. They're an enemy of ours, but I'll tell Grandizer that I'm happy for him if the Dolphins win the Super Bowl because he's my friend.
I like Grandizer and all, but I don't know if I could do that one. I live here in Florida. I deal with these Dolphins fans on the regular. It's hard. It's hard. You know, it's the same thing with Jacksonville fans. I had a really, really close friend who was really, really measured with his Jacksonville takes, and he knew that his team was bad and he's got bad ownership and all that stuff. But because of the rest of Jaguars fans, it was impossible for me to wish him good luck on Sundays. I actively rooted against his team, not because I didn't like him, because I didn't like his fan base. It's how it is.
That was like a couple years ago, being here in Eastern PA. One of my good buddies is an Eagles fan, but the rest of the Eagles fans are just horrible people.
It's hard, man.
Yeah.
Like, you know who I've surprisingly have had a good time with, like my entire time being in Florida, is like Tampa Bay fans. They're not really like, they got pretty belligerent once they got like Tom Brady and won the Super Bowl, but like I get that because I would be unbearable if the Jets won the Super Bowl. Like I would make enemies. That's how annoying I would be. Unbearable if the Jets won the Super Bowl. But like Tampa Bay fans for the longest time were like really nice, really respectful, really like cool people. Like were really like awesome takes. Like, yeah.
Yeah. Sorry guys, I'm trying to do YouTube Studio for my cell phone to see if I can see if somebody got blocked.
That's all right. And yeah, I agree. You know, if and when we win the Super Bowl, man, and we are going to have every right to be nasty and rude to anybody who's ever made fun of us or doubted us, you know.
I'm just gonna tweet at all of the media people every day. Like if we win a Super Bowl, I'm just gonna tweet at them every day, and it's gonna be a picture of Zach with the Lombardi Trophy, and everybody who was like, "Oh, Zach's not gonna be able to turn it around." I'm just gonna send a picture of that to them every day, and just be like, and I'm gonna send kissy faces to Phil Simms every day. That's it. Those are the two things I'm gonna do. I'm gonna tweet Stephen A. and everybody, Colin Cowherd, the whole nine, and be like, you suck at evaluating football talent. Screw you. And I'm going to send a gift basket to wherever Phil Simms does his Unbuttoned podcast. And that's what's going to happen.
That's what's going to happen?
Yeah. That's going to happen. Is that not what I said, Iowan? Did I say if? I meant to say when.
Grandizer says Eagle fans are the only ones that complained about winning a Super Bowl. And
no,
actually, there will be Jet fans that'll do that. We'll win the Super Bowl, and there'll be people complaining that we didn't do something right in the game.
No, it's not even that, right? Like my biggest thing is like I never understood the people like the people that complained that we didn't get Trevor, right? Because we won that game, right? Like. We did the thing we're supposed to do, and you're still complaining. And in my opinion, walked away with QB1 because I had Zach Wilson rated as my QB1 that year over Trevor. And it's just like, you're still going to complain, right? Or like if we win the Super Bowl, it's going to be like, well, like, of course we won the Super Bowl this year when one of the best edge rushers of all time is coming out. Why couldn't we go 0-16 to get this guy? There's always going to be something to complain about.
So guys, there was a guy named Duke that was on my block list, so I unblocked Duke. I don't know. I never saw Duke in the channel, but I did that. And then the only other person that's real, that's not one of those spams, that's in my blocked, I think this is kind of funny, is Modine.
Oh, yeah.
Modine.
No wonder we haven't seen
right.
The only one blocked.
Really, really hateful Jets comments that don't really have a backbone.
Well, I unblocked him because he served his time if he wants to come back. But I wanted to make a point that he's not allowed to talk about other YouTube content providers. So I think I made my point. So I did unblock him.
I'm guessing it was something along the lines of was it me related?
No.
Oh, okay.
No, you're nothing compared to he went after Frankie.
Oh, okay.
He does not like Frankie because Frankie calls him out. Frankie called him out. So, you know, that's the way it is.
I know that I'm not. I know for a fact I don't have Modine as one of my subscribers. I can say that for a fact.
And that's strange because if anything, and I mean this as a compliment in the sense that one of the uniquenesses about you is that you don't have the same takes as everybody else. You're the last person people can accuse of being a cheerleader. I mean, you're a diehard Jets fan and everything, but you're very honest. And if you know what I mean, you'll go against the grain and say that you don't like a player as much as other people are in love with. So if anything, he should kind of like, I would think he would respect that, you know? So it's just kind of weird.
I want to bring up a name. I have not seen him in the chat in a while. I'm usually hanging out in the chat on your Wednesday night show. Whatever happened to J. Cole?
He's in here.
Yeah, he still comes.
Yeah.
He's still here.
You just won't see the literal name J. Cole, but he's in here.
Oh.
Yeah.
Look for the guy who's asking you what kind of food you like. He's in here. I was like, "Where's J. Cole?" And then someone asked me if I like fried calamari, and I was like, "There he is."
Yeah, he can't help it. No matter how hard he wants to stay hidden, he can't control himself. He'll he'll hold it for like a minute. He'll do some comments like he's not J. Cole, and then he can't do it. And then all of a sudden he'll just slide back into
Some
"Do you
chicken
like
cutlets.
Yeah.
Eminon says J. Cole got deported.
Yeah. Vino is here. What's going on, Vino? I see people in the chat. I can't find their chats, but I see people naming their names. So it's like, thanks for so at least I can see that they're here. I don't know. I don't know why Dom C is watching but not in here. I'm guessing it has something to do. I think Dom C is one of those guys that says, hey, don't oversaturate yourself. I want to keep the Sunday night show we have very hot. I want to keep it that people need to wait to see me, so there's more of an urgency. That's my guess. But anyway,
or it might be the fact that he's just the father of, I think it's 3. Doesn't he have 3 boys?
He does.
It's hard. I have 1, and I'm ready to rip my hair out. The man's got 3, and they can talk now. Come on.
You know, it's just, yeah, man. I have a parent, like in my school. There's one of my parents. I mean, there were other families that are large also, but this particular woman, she's got 4 kids in my school right now, currently. Right, so you got these 4 students, actually 3, because one of them just went across to the other side of the campus, same company, but like our middle school. Right, so you got the kid in middle school, you got the 3 in our school. One of them just started. And then when she picks them up, and there's the 4 of them walking, she's holding a baby and she's pregnant. It's like, holy mackerel. Like, wow. You just like want self-punishment or something? I don't know.
I don't like, I want to, right? Like, that's where, like, I've said that, like, since we got married, and my wife wants 3. And we've always been in this position where, like, we're going to see how it goes. Man, it's almost up and down on the daily basis on whether or not I want the second kid, because this one's such a handful. I love the kid, but geez, man, it's hard to keep him. It's hard to keep him. Like, it's like, what do you do with a baby? Just, you love it.
Yeah, I thought we were a big family with 3 boys. I thought that was a lot for my mom. You know, I still don't know how she survived it, but they're all beautiful. I mean, all these kids are beautiful. They're all the cutest kids, and they're all great. But it's just amazing to me. I mean, it's the only explanation of how she can keep having them is they're so cute and they're such good kids. But man, it's a lot of work. Ab Lab Studios comes in.
Look at that.
If that's a company or something, it's like, I want to promote it. Like, tell me about it. But maybe that's just your Facebook name. I don't know. But if there's a part of the country you're in, or if there's anything you do like that, and that's a business related name, please let me know so I can, like, talk about it and like help people know where to find you, because you're so incredibly generous and I completely appreciate it. If Cousins is Zach's floor, who is his comp for a ceiling? We can go back in time. Doesn't have to be a current era. Now, I mean, not to like ring in the same bell as Tigo. I think a good ceiling and a good thing to look is Josh Allen, because I feel like their game is so similar.
I think it's the only ceiling that makes sense.
Yeah, I think it's and I'm not saying, because right away people jump and say, "Oh, you're crazy. He's going to be." Oh, yeah, right. I'm not saying that, and people don't understand when you say what a person's ceiling is. Saying what a person's ceiling is not saying it's going to happen. We're saying if everything hits right, how good do we think he can get? And I think if everything hits right, we could see another Zach Wilson, another Josh Allen type player in the league.
I think just to be a little different when you look at like ceiling, because the one thing, and I think this is why I totally understand why people say Josh Allen, why I say Josh Allen. I think statistically they make a lot of sense. I think their games are really close and what they're really good at. But I think it's a hard comparison to go to Josh Allen just because like the dude's 6'5", It's hard to look at a Josh Allen and be like, yeah, he's the player comp, right? Just because like no one in the NFL looks like Josh Allen. He's 6'5", 240, and he runs the way that he runs, right? I think a better, like, honestly, a better comp, and people really, really, really need to understand when I say comp. I'm not saying that he's this player, just saying like, hey, calm down. This is what this guy kind of plays like. I think a better one is Patrick Mahomes because they're both
funny,
the same size and weight.
I was just about to ask you, how tall is Patrick Mahomes? Because
They're the same.
that's the other thing.
If Zach is playing a little heavier this year, he's actually playing closer to where Patrick Mahomes plays like weight wise. Because Patrick Mahomes, don't ask me why I know this, but he plays at 6'2", 225. That's his playing weight. Now, he loses weight during this season towards the playoffs. He's probably playing 6'2", 220, but that's his playing weight at the beginning of the year. He's always 6'2", 225.
Well, if he gets comfortable enough to pick up his accuracy and gets a lot more accurate, which is very possible when he's comfortable in the system and gets the pass protection and he doesn't get the drop balls, right? So let's say he gets a lot more accurate like he was in college. And I see him as as far as physical stature, when you look at everything, I kind of see him as a potential cross of the escapability, but not as good a runner, but the escapability, like brilliance and off script brilliance of Patrick Mahomes, and the arm talent of an Aaron Rodgers as his ceiling. If our wildest dreams came true.
But okay, let me ask this question then.
Between those guys.
But let me ask this question. Just because we've talked about it, and I just want to come straight out with it. Where do you rank arm strength and arm talent then? Like, what's your top 5 or top 3, let's say? Like, where does Aaron Rodgers fall? Because in my mind, Aaron Rodgers, remember when I said that there's only 2.5 arms that are better than Zach Wilson's in the NFL, in my belief? It goes, Josh Allen, I think, has the biggest and baddest arm in the NFL. Patrick Mahomes is right behind him, like a millimeter behind him. And then that half, because of how old he is, I think he's falling off quickly, is Aaron Rodgers. And I think the 4th best arm in the NFL is Zach Wilson. I think that's right. So where do you put Aaron Rodgers? Because I think, so are you saying like he doesn't have a big as arm as Patrick Mahomes? That's why you're using Aaron Rodgers? Or are you saying Aaron Rodgers because you think he has the biggest arm?
I'm using Aaron Rodgers for his efficiency, for his ease, how easily he makes it, his smoothness.
Makes a lot of sense.
Comfortable, his mastery of the mastery of his offense, the mastery of the knowing and understanding the defense, just the quarterback intelligence and the accuracy and the ability to just put the ball everywhere it needs to be. With Patrick Mahomes like escapability, but not as much as maybe the raw running skills of Patrick Mahomes, but the escapability. And then from both of them, the imaginative type play, like weird throwing angles.
And I did want to like just say something a little bit which was Buffalo Jet fan said Zach Wilson's ceiling is a more athletic Matt Stafford. You take that back. I'm the biggest believer in Matt Stafford. I was calling that they were going to win the Super Bowl the moment the trade happened. I drafted him in my fantasy league. I loved Matt Stafford all year last year, but I don't think that's a realistic ceiling. Just personally, I did not like that take. I needed to call that one out.
Well, ceilings should be very embellished and high. I mean, right? I mean,
I'm not trying to be an embellished and high.
No, but
I'm trying to be real serious with it, right? Like, here's the ceiling of this player.
Right. I'm being serious because I saw samples of the elite escapability and I saw samples of an elite arm. I've seen it. Like Tennessee, the throw to Corey Davis was elite. That play off balance, elite. The escapability and his touchdown run against Jacksonville, elite. So, but I'm going to let John Post talk.
No, that's okay. I mean, I would love Josh Allen or, him to be like Patrick Mahomes or Josh Allen. But the player I thought of was maybe not height wise and stuff like that but Ben Roethlisberger.
Interesting.
That was the first player I thought of with Zach.
Yeah. Ben, that's interesting. I mean, look, Ben Roethlisberger had a long career.
Mm-hmm.
Won how many? 2 Super Bowls?
2 Super Bowls, yep.
He was a bigger, stronger guy. He was more linebacker.
Yes. Yeah, 6'5", yeah.
I mean, no one's going to be the exact same thing, but look, if he could, you could take little pieces of every quarterback for different reasons. If I was to take something from Ben Roethlisberger, I'd want it to be toughness.
Mm-hmm.
Ben Roethlisberger was a tough MF. Like he was tough. I liked him coming out of college a lot. I was very big on him.
Miami of Ohio, I believe, right?
Yeah. A Super Bowl bet contribution. Daniel Foss, thank you so much. He is slowly helping me. I mean, he might eventually cover the whole bet. By the end of the season, I'm sure he will. $5 at a time on Super Chats. He's making sure that I'm covered on this bet. $100 for the Jets to win the Super Bowl. If you go too much and you keep giving me more, I'm gonna put another $100 on a parlay bet. This is the bet I want. Parlay. I want you have to win both to win the bet. I want to see if there's a sports book or a website that'll give me odds on this. I want Breece Hall to be the offensive rookie of the year and Sauce Gardner to be the defensive rookie of the year. And I want to bet $100 that both are going to happen.
Interesting.
Yeah,
I think that's much more.
Let me know if you find that somewhere. I'd like to bet that too.
Yeah. I think if there's
I would not make that bet.
Yeah. I love this take. Steve Young.
Oh,
I don't, man. It's
You
just such an
don't?
easy take.
Why is
Look,
it?
it's just so easy because he went to BYU. It's just like, of course he's Steve Young, right? Like, it's just so easy.
But it's not just BYU. Steve
I
Young was.
get it. He's 6'2". They're the
quarterback.
same. They're the same build. They look identical when you look at them on the field. I think Steve Young played 6'2", 218, which is what Zach's playing at. Like, I get it, but it's just like, oh, he's the other famous BYU quarterback, and it's just like, come on.
Oh, you know what I forgot to announce? I turned it on, so I think it's working, but I can't make it work, and I don't know how to do it. Just like I had trouble joining Ryan's channel. My Snackers membership program is up and running. So I don't know if any of you could figure it out, but if you're interested in joining, I have 4 levels. The first one is like the price of a cup of coffee. I'm stealing Buffalo's Jets fans thing. The name of the membership program is My Snackers, right? It's Chaos Snackers. The entry level, I believe, is like $2.99 or something, and it's called a light snacker, and it gets you a couple of features like some new emojis or whatever.
If you want, I can tell you. I have it open. I can read out exactly.
Does it offer you an opportunity to join?
Yeah, it's there. There's a join button. If you hit subscribe, there's a join button. So you were right. Light snacker is $2.99 a month. You get a loyalty badge next to your name of the color of your choosing. Yeah. And then you get access to the custom emojis and chat things that you built, the emotes. That's what they're called. The next one is the snacker, which gives you the same things as the light snacker, but also early access to new videos and member shoutouts. The heavy snacker, which is $9.99, gets you the same thing as the snacker and the light snacker, but also a private chat group open 24/7 and virtual video collaborations. And then this is a ballsy one, my good sir. This is
I'll explain it later.
This one's well, damn. Is the super snackers. And instead of like being $14.99 or $24.99 like the regular jump, if you're willing to pay the $99.99 a month, you get the same thing as the light snacker, the snacker, and the heavy snacker. But you also get virtual video collaborations and member-only live streams.
And in that $99.91, do you send snacks to people?
Like, is that like a snack box, like a mailed every week? Because
no, but every time I give away like a Star Wars toy or like basketball cards or baseball cards or football cards, I send those members the equal value in prize, so they win automatically.
Oh,
so here's why I did it, and I was told,
you do you. If you give the person the option and they got the money, they'll do it.
I was told you should have an absurd, like big show off, big fancy schmancy,
yes,
elitist type of option, and because sometimes like. I actually
never know who's going to roll through and do it. You absolutely do it. When I used to do Twitch streams, I had a subscription level, a tier 3 sub was $100, and I had one guy do it just because it was there.
Let
He
me-
wanted to support me, didn't want to do a donation, and did for 1 month gave me $100 sub. Like it happens.
Nice.
You got to be careful what you promise, because what happens is, and I'm not saying it's going to happen to me, but it happens, is there's a guy named Tom Grossi. People might know him or have heard of him. If Tom Grossi gets $99 super chats all the time during watch parties to do shots. Over the years, he's found these people. People have all different levels of money. Somehow, slowly through time, people that follow him have a lot of money. And they're willing to do this. And they give him $99. I'd never ask anybody for that. But for whatever reason, there are people willing to do this, right? So for that reason, you put something like that up, but you be careful, because I was going to do unlimited be on my show. But the problem with that is one day, let's say 6-7 years from now, what if I explode like Tom Grossi and suddenly there's 10, 15 of those people, and now they all get to be on your show whenever they want. So you got to be really careful about it. And you got to change the program, obviously, as you grow. But for right now, I can't off what the super snacker gets you. I can't offer to too many people. I mean, I'm talking about private streams just for you. You know, I'm going to create a Zoom thing, and it's going to watch like Green Bean does. I'm going to watch football games with you. Plus, you're going to get to be on my channel every week for a half an hour on any show that you want. Guest appearances. So I have to be careful with it. So I had to make it expensive. But it's not for now. I don't expect anybody to join that level of membership now. I did it because I wanted to be up there for the future at some point. Like there is a level to get to if you want to really be.
It's the Patreon model.
Yeah.
That's what it is, right? You build different levels, and the higher you go, the more you can get as a viewer. People want to interact with you. Again, I love it. I love the idea of, I didn't know that you could go that high with like things, because I always thought like, hey, if you wanted to do things like that, especially with YouTube, you would have to be like use like a Patreon, like the way that Green Bean does it. You would have to have like a separate area for it. No, like I said, I love the hustle. I love the what you get from it. It makes a lot of sense. I can't wait. Like I'm so close to 1,000. Once I can't wait to be able to start creating those kinds of things and having that stuff. So
By the way, this is going to be funny as I answer this question. Thank you so much, Tom Cahill. I appreciate the super chat. And it's very kind of you to do that. I love that people do that. When you hear this, it's kind of like the movie Weird Science, where they build the perfect woman, Kelly LeBrock. And you're going to laugh at this because I've mentioned the names like Josh Allen. We've talked about Patrick Mahomes, Aaron Rodgers. So when you say, who do I want to compare his release to, I'd say his ceiling, Dan Marino release. Like I'm building the perfect quarterback. You know, Aaron Rodgers' football IQ, Patrick Mahomes' escapability and off-scriptness and weird angle throwing stuff. With
Tom Brady's number of Super Bowl wins.
With Dan Marino's release. I can't help it.
Oh, sorry.
But honestly, if I was to focus just on the release, I get excited when I hear about his quick release, because it always reminds me of Dan Marino's. Like that was the first time I learned what that even meant. Everybody says, well, what made Dan Marino so good? I mean, obviously he had all these other attributes of accuracy and football IQ, but what set him so far apart? People used to talk about his quick release. And a lot of people talk about Zach's quick release, that he gets like what he's got to speed up his game and his decision making. But when he wants to get rid of the ball, his release is fantastic. Right, Tigo? Right, John?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, absolutely.
I look at Zach Wilson. I know a lot of people are not going to like this comparison, but guys, this is specifically about release. Okay, like how quickly does X person get the ball out of their hands? I kind of look at Zach Wilson and the way that he gets the ball out like a kind of like Derek Carr. Derek Carr gets the ball out really, really quick. And like there are some QBs who have a fast release. Like a great example of this was like Drew Brees, but Drew Brees had to use his whole, like it was like a whole thing, but he was really quick in that motion. Zach gets the ball out really, really quickly and really, really efficiently. And I really like how he does it. And I think a really good, like just timing comparison and like Wise is kind of like what Derek Carr. I think he's a better I think he's ultimately going to be a better quarterback than Derek Carr. But like when you're talking about release, that's my guy. I like Derek Carr, and I think that Derek Carr has a pretty quick release. And that's what I think Zach, for me, kind of reminds me
of. V-Man comes in with another super chat. Wow, thank you, V-Man. I appreciate that. V-Man is a contributor to the channel. He's been on before. He's played music for us. He's read Jets trivia. He's a great kid. Big Jets fan and a big supporter of the channel, big supporter of a lot of us. So thank you, V-Man. And we'll have you on again. We'll get you on again, buddy. It's been a while since we've had you. In week 3, the New York Jets will honor the brave people of Ukraine by wearing UA flag patches on their helmet to help bring awareness to the war in UA, but Ukraine, we mean. So I think that's great. I think that's awesome. I think it's a horrible thing that's going on over there. Obviously, their people have nothing, no way out of this. It's just happened to them. They're helpless in this. It wasn't even like they could overthrow their president, like in one of those situations where, and get a better leader. They're just complete victims.
They got invaded. They had nothing to do with their internal leadership.
They're a complete sovereign nation that got invaded for no reason, and except greed, Russia's greed. But they did nothing wrong, nothing to deserve it. It's absolutely disgusting. And I'm glad that we're going to honor them like that. And I hope it helps. I hope it raises money, and I hope that it helps people in need there. It's just, it's an awful thing that's going on over there right now. I mean, my grandparents I know for a fact that my grandparents on my mother's side are from Kiev. So, and I believe it might be the other side also, my father's paternal side also. But I know at least half of my family is originally from Kiev. And I know probably I lost a lot of uncles and aunts I never knew, in the 1940s, there. So the fact that they got freedom and they had independence and they were their own nation and now are undergoing what Russia's doing to them, it's just unbelievable. How much do these people have to suffer in that part of the world? So, but thank you for the super chat, V-Man. I'm glad your message got out there. So everybody, when week 3 comes, now we know what that is all about. I'm sure the announcers will talk about it, but I look forward to seeing that, and hopefully we'll honor them by winning. So one super snacker. Yeah. One day, that's the dream. Imagine having 10, 15 super snackers someday. Oh my God. He goes, look at this.
I saw that. I was dying when I saw that. I was dying. That was so good.
I don't think it's politics. I don't believe it's politics.
No, I don't believe that's
Ukraine is not politics. That's not Democrat, Republican, or politics. That's a country is being attacked for no reason. Come on, that's not politics.
I kind of disagree. I think it is. The reason for the invasion is very, very political. Whether we're not talking about the politics of it.
Right.
War is bad, right? Right.
Can
we just going out and fighting for war instead of solving situations peacefully is always a bad thing. But it happens, right? Like I have a lot of friends. I was in the Navy. I was a medic. I have a lot of friends that went overseas and didn't come back. So coming from that perspective, I can't understand where they're saying hey, don't bring politics in. But it's one of those things where it's just I don't think there's really anybody who's on Russia's side of this.
Yeah, and it's not even Russia's side. Forget about even being Russia's side or not. Okay, let me rephrase it. It's for the people, innocent people who are struggling in the Ukraine. Okay, so I'm sure that nobody here believes that anybody, regular families, children, and parents and families in the Ukraine deserve to get blown up or suffer or have, their whole world come down on them. Nobody would say they deserve that, right? Nobody here believes the people of the Ukraine are evil. So take the politics out of it. It's for those people. It's to help people that are suffering in a country, right? Can we? So this way we won't be political about it. Again, I didn't know that either side of the political fence has any feelings, at least in our country, about this. I don't know.
I
Anybody,
also understand
know.
Thomas's perspective, though, right? Like I'm
Yeah.
I'm kind of like sports are an escape. That's why we watch sports, and so keeping world events out of sports is kind of like I get like where he's coming from, and I get it, and I know for a fact, and this is going to sound really crappy, but it's true. We wouldn't be doing this if Woody's wife wasn't half Ukrainian. Or no, she's Ukrainian. Half Ukrainian? Some percentage Ukrainian. You know what I mean? It's just.
Yeah, I could understand the perspective of saying leave the world events outside of. I mean, they didn't do that in 1991 when we were in the Stormfront Gulf War.
Right.
I remember like Whitney Houston with this, singing the Star Spangled Banner and big giant tributes to the troops and things like that. But I mean, look. When the game starts, it's football, right?
Yeah.
And there's a reason we don't talk about like politics, presidents, governors. So I mean, in here, because this is our escape from that. We don't want to think about those things here. But I don't blame V-Man for bringing that up because this is really just about the people. I mean, and when you're saying they're against the politics, they're talking about, I think they don't want the Jets to do that maybe and be involved in that. But I don't think anybody has a problem with V-Man pointing out that he wants people to think about the people of the Ukraine that are suffering, whatever your feelings about the invasion is, Dan Marino had a really quick release. Wilson doesn't have a quick release. I don't know if you could say he doesn't have a quick release. I've heard that he does. I'm not an expert. I'm not saying that I look at his release and know how to tell that it's quick. But I mean, I think Joe Blewett, he'd be an interesting guy to ask. Maybe I'll ask him because I'm on Twitter. I'm friends with him. I'll DM him and see what Joe Blewett thinks and see what Luke thinks from Play Like a Jet. So there are guys that know that can give, kind of an expert.
I think you just just watch it. Go pull up a video on it and just watch it frame by frame. Go watch how quickly he gets the ball out and compare it to some of the faster releases in the NFL.
Yeah. Watch Buffalo's going to do it.
Like
Buffalo's going to do it.
Like
Buffalo's going to jump.
I don't need it. Like I can just kind of watch it and be like, yeah, he's got a really quick release. Now I'm not saying he's got like this super fast, like Tom Brady, Jimmy G, Patrick Mahomes level release. No, those guys get the ball out so fast. It's crazy. I never said that. I said Derek Carr for a reason. I like Derek Carr. I think he's got a quick release. That's where I put him on.
That's awesome. That's awesome. That's so funny.
Matthew has been doing this all day today. It's nothing but did Zach did something with somebody's mom.
Yeah.
I just think we have to I mean we can get to the bottom of it, but I've heard people say he has a quick release all the time. Like
he does.
I've heard him described like that constantly.
He does.
Yeah, so
I think that's one of like you can argue about like the not really like statistically he's not that accurate, but like you can argue that like the accuracy is actually an issue. You can argue arm strength level, whatever, right? But like things that are like you can't really even argue arm strength level, right? Didn't the guy just throw a 67-mile-an-hour pass in practice? Like there are certain things that are like factually like measurable, like, hey, how fast does he get the ball out? Cool. And then there are certain things that are like opinions. Like Modine doesn't think that Zach Wilson is a good quarterback. Doesn't mean that he doesn't have a fast release and a crazy fast throw it like speed and velocity. So it's just like, yeah.
Iowa is crazy. What happens is some people jump in and jump out. So, and some people watch it on TV and it's hard. I don't think you can like it from the TV set. So they're not dicks. I'm back and just got back. Oh, he's back. See, he's not blocked. The kid is not blocked. I'm back. I just got back from a couple hours of work at the tennis ball machine. What a life this kid has. This kid is like watching these shows from a garage or a she shed or some outdoor house structure that has two golf carts he has. I think we saw a motorcycle in the back there. He's already driving at 14 because he's from Arkansas. He's got. I mean, this kid. In 2 years,
messed up.
In 2 years, he's gonna be married. I mean,
Oh my god.
this kid has a life, man. This kid has the life. I'm telling you, he has the life. I went to the tennis court on my property and put the tennis ball machine on. I can't wait until he has a bank account and is able to super chat. Okay, look at this. I love it when he talks crap about Iowa. It's Arkansas versus Iowa. I love it.
It's 2-0 states fighting tooth and nail for relevancy.
I don't think. I mean, that was one of the things that. By the way, so this is okay. We had a very quick list here. Like I said, Wilson gets sacked a lot last season, but it's not only sacks. He got sacked a lot last season because we had no offensive line.
Well, it's
Great
also
offensive line.
he also held on to the ball like quick. Like, are we talking about time to release, or are we talking about how quickly from when he starts throwing the ball he gets the ball out? Because those are two different stats.
Very
right?
different stats. Very different.
Because
stats.
Zach didn't have open receivers really to throw the ball to, so he held the ball way too long and he got sacked. Right? So that's one thing. But when he decides, hey, I'm going to throw the ball is out instantly. So there's two different things, right? Quick release, I'm talking about referencing is his throwing motion. How quickly does he go from here to there, right? Like how quick is that motion? Not how he gets the ball, he takes his 6, 3, 5, 7, 9-step drop and watches last year specifically wide receivers not get open.
Well, it's a very different thing. I'm talking about the releases when he's sees the field better and it can make decisions faster. How long, if a guy's about to tackle him, how quickly does he get the ball out? Like there are times, and there were times that I already saw it in him, by the way, where it looked like he was dead in the water, and it was amazing how quickly, when he made the decision, the ball snapped away, out of him. Like he was able to get rid of the ball and make.
I love how much velocity and like just straight up like zip he can get without getting his body involved. Like as I was never able to do that. Like it's straight up like there's like when people talk about arm talent, I mean like literally just straight up just arm talent. Like for me to try to get like when I played, I had to use my whole body to get velocity on the ball. I had a noodle arm. I'm not going to sit here and lie. I had a noodle arm. I had to like put everything and take a massive step forward and to get the ball out. The man just goes and it's gone.
Mm-hmm. If it's not too late, take care.
Hey, Iowan, I will fight you. Don't talk about. I know a couple Florida mans for real. We'll go march on Iowa right now.
Bad salty.
We'll go march on Iowa right now.
We don't care. We'll eat some bath salts and we'll march on Iowa.
I love this. Sort of like Muhammad Ali's jab. His release. I love that. Floats like a butterfly and stings like a bee.
Honestly, Blitz, yeah, kind of. But I throw right-handed. I'm not left-handed.
Oh, nothing. Oh, that's me. All states are important. Iowa's important. You know why?
Incorrect.
Iowa's important?
Incorrect, Jeremy. There are 50 of them. The long numbers just goes to show not all of them are going to matter.
But Iowa Jets fan is one of my best supporters. So
I love Iowa Jets fan. He's part of the crew, and I will do anything that I can to help Iowa Jets fan. That does not mean that you come from a relevant state. Those two things are not.
They grow agriculture. What you know what they grow there in Iowa? You know how much? What is it? Corn?
Is it corn?
Yes.
You know how many?
Idaho has the potatoes.
Okay, so Idaho has the potatoes. That's important.
Why do you think they grow corn? Because there's nothing else worth anything in Iowa. There's two things in Iowa that are worth anything. Well, three things, right? Brees Hall. But now he's in New York, so screw that. Iowa Jet fan and corn. That's it. Only thing that come out of Iowa. And that head coach that they got at Iowa State. I really like that guy. I can't wait for him to come to NFL.
Sergeant Mike comes in. He has a history. My man is long long in the tooth in a good way. Grew up watching Namath. He and Marino had the fastest releases. Zach is about the fastest now. Quick release enables you to throw a pass like a dart with a wrist snap. Brady is a long arm thrower. It is true. He does have that wrist snap, doesn't he? He does have that effortless little snap of the wrist. And we saw that in camp when he threw the ball to Elijah Moore deep for a 70-yard touchdown.
That's crazy, man. I love the kid.
I've been so busy the past 2 weeks. I've had marching band. But hey, so we're talking about he's in a marching band too. Oh, God. There really is nothing to do there. Although he seems to have a busy life. He goes to his tennis practice. He rides around his property with a golf cart. He's,
marching band ain't no joke.
Marching bands. Marching band's a real thing. He plays an instrument and marches at the same time, and maybe he'll end up in one of those parades in Times Square, and then the joke will be on me. Oh, well, here we go. This is going to be funny. Bro, we have Diamonds. We have Diamonds and Walmart. And we technically own the Broncos now, too. They have a Walmart. Wow.
Wow.
But do you have a Burger Barn? You're not a town until you have your Burger Barn.
Oh, New Jersey had Action Park. I remember going there when I was a kid. Yeah.
Or Action. Now they call it Class Action Park.
That's not a good thing, Arkansas Jet fan.
Right.
It's not something you should be bragging about. Walmart is horrible. Like, you shouldn't go there.
Let's stop making fun of Arkansas, man. This is the land of our country. It makes our land vast and big, and they also contribute a lot to our Army and Marines and military services. Places like
Arkansas. Because that's the only way to get out.
But it doesn't matter. They're still helping defend our country.
Hey, I know. I can make fun of them.
Can we go back to the varsity axe throwing thing?
Is that a thing? That's actually awesome.
Anyway, let's talk about the green and white practice tomorrow.
Do we know if it's going to be streamed anywhere?
I don't think so. The only way I was able to see any of it last year was Sack Exchange called into Green Bean channel, and I was co-hosting with Green Bean, and we got to see some footage that way. Frankie is going to be live, I think, just talking about it and hoping he can see some streaming and following Twitter. So the only way we would be able to see any of it is if somebody called in, like to one of our channels, and held up their phone.
See, because I really want to be able to like I know that it's just but when you're talking about full scrimmage with pads and marching down the field and that kind of thing, I'm really interested to see that. It's just, I would love to be able to watch something like that and be able to break it down. This is the thing that I think the three of us can relate to, is being a Jet fan in a position where you can't just go to Florham Park, or you can't just go to MetLife really quickly or anything like that. It's something that Richie, right, he was on the Jets YouTube channel because he was just there at training camp. He just went, he was on the flight cam, and it's just it's one of the things that sucks being a fan of a team that's so far away, is that you can't do that stuff. And so green and white scrimmage, even though it's not technically super important and not this crazy important milestone, it's still nice to see guys at full game speed, And it sucks they don't stream it. What's going on?
Yeah. So marching bands are definitely serious stuff.
Mm-hmm.
That's why I said he could be in a parade in Times Square. It's a real thing.
It's serious.
Be all over. You can get to travel all over the country, and if you get scholarships, anything that gets you a full ride in college is a serious thing.
Doesn't the NCAA govern marching bands too?
I think so.
Isn't it that intense?
It also,
you know how the NCAA governs all the other sports stuff. I know people that have full rides to stuff like that. It's intense. I played trombone. I couldn't hack it.
And what's cool is if Arkansas is in that marching band and he does end up, what if he does get a scholarship? What if this kid gets a free ride in some college and one day he's One of
Then
those
he can
guys in
leave
the
the
end.
state and go somewhere that matters.
One of those guys in the end zone.
He can get out of Arkansas.
Yeah.
That's
Look,
the dream, right?
I gotta say, when I went to a Stanford game right before the pandemic that year. It was the year that Sam Darnold was, I think I saw him play against Stanford his senior year, and then, was it Sam Darnold? No, it was UCLA. It was Rosen. I saw Rosen play, and the most exciting part of that game was the two marching bands on opposite sides of the stadium, like taunting each other with music. It was really fun.
The dueling marching band is one of the best things on the planet.
Yeah. So there's that. What's an outrageous take? I want to hear what's an outrageous take. But I don't know. I only fully invested in the drumline convo. We are losing viewers, though. People are heading for the exits. But no, actually, it's not true. But anyway, your marching band actually won last year. We're a nationally recognized program. We're going to St. Louis for a completion too, so it's legit. Okay, but if you're winning champ, do they offer scholarships to the entire band? Is it like, do they literally go to a high school and say this is an amazing group and take the whole? How do they individually judge you? Do they?
Oh, that's a good question.
I guess you audition. Yeah, I guess you audition.
Okay. Yeah, like,
hey,
this is a great marching band, and we need like 3 trombones.
They have
who are your seniors? Have them come audition.
Right.
It's like
trying to get into Julia.
There's a measurable, like they have that, like it's a measurable ability, right? Like you can just tell the guy to do a solo.
Yeah. Well, it is the Friday night hangout. So anybody gets pissed, we're not talking about football the whole time. Understand this is the Friday night hangout. This is what we're supposed to be doing. We're hanging out and having fun. So, but the green-white practice is interesting. I'm not looking for anything in particular. What I'm looking is for one side of the ball not to get maybe if anything, not to get completely dominated by the other side of the ball. And I'm always excited and willing and happy if Zach Wilson shows really well.
Mm-hmm.
Wait,
so
hey,
time out. Shows really well. I'm happy.
Wait, everybody, say happy birthday to my wife.
Happy birthday! Congratulations on the baby.
They said happy birthday. Congratulations on the baby.
I'm out of here.
Someone's got to watch the baby. She just came in to say goodnight, so she's off running away.
Is she getting a bottle of water?
She's just letting me know that she got the baby down and that she's going to sleep.
Oh, it looks like there's a case of bottled water down there.
Oh no, there is.
Oh,
I've got a case. This is a case of water, and then that's my mini fridge. So
that's what I need. I need a mini fridge.
Oh, dude, it is a lifesaver. Wow.
Oh,
it is a lifesaver.
That'd be great up here.
I'm telling you, guys, like this is the biggest game-changing thing for my office was the mini fridge. Everything else, screw it. The lights, the bookshelf, I don't care about any of this stuff. The mini fridge, elite. I don't even care about the couch. The couch was in here, so like when I'm in here and I'm working and stuff, like my wife can come hang out and she'll like bring the baby, and that's pretty cool. Like I enjoy the fact that we have the couch back there. Biggest game changer, mini fridge. Being able to have Arizonas, because I like the half and halves, so I have like just cases of them everywhere. Being able to have an ice cold Arizona whenever I want.
I love this. Yes, that's exactly what I was thinking. I was thinking 2 things. I'd want to get a bigger fridge that has a little freezer attachment so I could keep some frozen food in there, like some good stuff I love, and then have a microwave up here. So imagine like I can take like Gino's pizza rolls out of the freezer and then
that's a bit much
in the microwave, and then I have like a drink so I could literally eat pizza rolls right here without going downstairs. And my wife wouldn't be able to track how many calories I'm taking.
And you trip the breaker and lose everything.
I would be on board if you said if I got a mini fridge that had a freezer so I could keep like ice creams and stuff like that up there. But now you're bringing out a microwave, you're heating up, you're having hot meals. Come on.
Well, my wife won't have to walk up the stairs to bring me the food now, and I won't have to run down or anything.
I win, absolutely. It's called priorities, my good sir. I love my wife. I love my baby. But the elite thing is having ice cold Arizona tea whenever I want. I'm actually really upset because I drank the last bottles and I got to refill it, and I haven't done that yet.
The the last day before my diet, or I think it was the Saturday night. It was like one of my wife, we were like, we went shopping a little. We were in the supermarket, and it was like my last chance. I was like, this is the last chance before I'm dieting. I got to get all the junk out of my system. What is it that I'm craving to have before this diet starts? And we got 2 giant cans, those 99-cent Arizona can iced teas, and a couple of Snapples. So we got like 4 things of iced tea for me to just guzzle down and finish in my last day. Not to mention a lot of junk, a lot of very bad, unhealthy food. So the white can. Okay, I got to look at that, what flavor that is. But anyway, the son of the founder of Arizona Iced Tea, that was like 2 guys. One of the guys, last name is Vaggio or something like that, Villagio or something like that. I forget because it's been so long. His son was on a teen tour that I was the director of. So I was the director of a teen tour. This is, my God, how many years ago? 25 years ago, at least. Maybe 26 years ago. And I was this director of a teen tour across the country. And this kid, he was the son of the founder. Like, he told me the whole story. He was like literally a kid in his room when they were hanging out one night. And then one night they came up with the concept. They were originally a 40-ounce, canned beer company out of Brooklyn. And it wasn't doing that great. And they had this idea. They were Grateful Dead fans. They were probably smoking pot. And they had this idea to do iced tea. And they said the perfect name, Arizona Iced Tea, because it's so hot in Arizona. And he said they came up with the design. The wife literally did the design, the original design of the can. All of it happened in one night. And then because they already had the factory in place, the whole thing just came to fruition. And when we were on the teen tour, his father sent cases of Arizona Iced Tea to one of the hotels that we'd stopped at waiting for us, and T-shirts. So we all got Arizona T-shirts and Arizona Iced Tea.
It's one of the reasons I have a YouTube channel. That's the goal, is to get big enough to get sponsored by Arizona, so I don't have to pay for it anymore.
And this kid that was 15 years old is now the vice president of sales for Arizona Iced Tea. And which this is true. And what's weird is I have no way to get in touch with them really, except a girl that I went to high school with that I still know. She dated one of my friends. I'm friends with her on Facebook, works for Arizona Iced Tea. And I said, do you ever see him? Do you ever see this guy? And I told her his name. And she's like, yes, I work for him. I work under him, like, a level or 2 under him. So I see him in meetings all the time. And I was like, say hello from Jeremy, his old team tour director. I don't know. I never followed through with her to find out if she did. But anyway, I don't know why I told that story, but it's a true story. But I am truly a fan of the Arizona Iced Tea family. No, this is the other family, Dom. It's not for Vecchio. It's the other one. There's 2. It's like Maggio or something. So look on the can. It says it on the can. Unless they sold it. There was 2 families. So it wasn't, because that name, I would know it as soon as I saw it. It definitely wasn't that name. It wasn't for Vecchio. It was like Maggio. If anybody has Arizona Iced Tea, look at the can and the bottle. Look at the very fine print and see.
I'll be right back.
Yeah, he's going to go check. He's going to check,
All right, let's whip this bad boy open.
See if you have an Arizona?
Right here.
Okay.
I've always got Arizona.
So look and see if it says the name of the family that started it, like the 2 families or whatever. Produced, I don't know, created by, made by. It used to be on the can.
Nope, not on the can.
Oh, that's
maybe on the box.
I guess you could Google. Somebody can Google it. Say, who are the owners of Arizona Iced Tea? I'm sure it would pop up. It used to be on every can. So I don't know. Maybe they may have sold it they may have sold out. They may have been bought out by a giant corporation. That would explain why it's gone. But he's still the VP of sales there, or still works there, because my friend told me he's still there. Because I said, do you know him?
Got to put that in there.
Voltaggio?
Yes. You see it?
Yeah. Well, I just Googled it. So
yes, that's the name. I just Googled it too. So yeah, Don Voltaggio. It might be Voltaggio. Yeah, I guess it's Voltaggio. It's been so long. But it says Zom Voltaggio and family. Forbes magazine? Really? They're that rich? You're kidding me. Arizona iced tea is that rich? Holy cow! I wonder if he's mentioned. No wonder he used to like when we were on the team tour. Even though he was 15, he had a credit card and he would order room service to the room. Like, I mean, this kid had it all, but he was really generous. He used to buy all of his friends' food, all the other kids that were in the hotel room. If you roomed with him, you got fed. But man, so okay, chairman and co-founder. I just want to see if his son is mentioned at all. Because it's like, so are you saying I might know a billionaire or a multi-millionaire? That's kind of cool. I gotta see if he remembers me. I should have taken better care of him. I should have gotten him I should have hired one of
It's got to be nice to
Deshaun
everybody.
Watson's masseuse. I really should have gotten closer to this kid. Just to give you an idea of who goes on these teen tours, it wasn't the year that I worked, but Howard Stern sent his daughter on this teen tour. So one of the kids that I took mountain biking on one of the stops was his father was like Muhammad Ali's lawyer.
Damn.
And we weren't allowed to accept tips, but he snuck me $100 at the airport when we brought him home.
Their sons, nice. Wesley and Spencer.
Wesley is the one that was on the teen tour. Yeah, Wesley was the one on the teen tour. He was a good kid. He was a really cool kid, really mellow, laid back. He wasn't spoiled or snotty, probably because they weren't rich right away. Like he was alive when they were just regular people and then got rich because he was alive when the company was started. So that's probably why he's more down to earth. He wasn't raised and born into just multi-millions of dollars. He was totally grounded. Not that all people, there are tons of people born into tons of money that are very grounded, but he was super, super grounded. He was just a normal kid you would never know, except for the fact he'd take out his credit card and
except that he'd pull out a metal black card and throw it on the table wherever he wanted.
And order 10 pizzas to the hotel. Yeah, he did do that. But anyways,
it's nice having one of those in your team or whatever. I had not that rich, but when I played lacrosse, we used to I was pretty good at it. And whenever we would travel, there was one kid who had the metal card. His parents were VPs for Lockheed Martin here in Orlando and stuff like that. And he would just that was his deal, right? He was not good, but he was on the fourth line. And the way he stayed relevant was just he kept everybody happy. And it's sad because we kind of took advantage of him, but it was always nice being able to know, hey, we're in Jacksonville for the night and we all kind of want pizza. James got it.
You know what's funny? I got to say that's going on in the chat is that I have a thing in the chat now. I don't know why it does this all of a sudden, but it'll ask, do you want to block this chat? Do you, and you have the option of show it or hide it. And Iowa Jets fan leads the league in most chats that get that question.
You have to adjust your rules because it's
every time I see that question, I look and it's Iowan. Every time. Why
are you trying to block Iowan? I love that. I know that we were talking crap about his horrible state that he lives in, but I love the guy. Don't block Iowan.
I never block one. I always hit approve or show. I never say hide. I'm just saying it shows up for him more than any other person. Every time I see it, it's always him that it's asking me, do you want to block this one? I'm like, no, I don't want to block it. Beck didn't like the dad joke I put on his request for dad jokes. Oh, that's cool. It's weird. I try to get on Twitter. I replied. I was the first to reply to a Kenny Yeboah tweet, but he didn't respond. He didn't like it or do anything. So it's a bummer. So yeah, of course it's because he curses so much, but still, he curses more than anyone. So he's got a foul mouth, that Iowa Jets fan. Foul mouth. But hey, I'm going to meet him and hang out with him. He's going to fit right in MetLife Stadium. No one will be more popular than Iowan. Cursing
honestly, I wish I could go to this home opener. There's so many people going. I wish I could go.
Yeah.
Especially because this is going to be the homer in me a little bit, kind of, but it almost feels like this year could be the beginning of something special, like from this Jets team. You know what I mean? Like we finally have got like what I believe to be the right people in the right places. Like, I think we have the right GM. I think we have the right coaching staff. I think we've got the right quarterback. I think we've got the right scheme. Like, I think we've got the right people making the decisions that ultimately wins you football games. And it just seems like this is going to be the start of something special. And it's just like, I would love to be able to like look back and like tell my son, right? Like, hey, like this is the year that the Jets started their dominance. And I was there when we blew out the Ravens. I'm going to just speak that into existence.
Yeah. I wanted to do a shout out to my brother Hader Ali. He's been here for a while. I saw him before. And I didn't get a chance to say hello to him, so I wanted to make sure I gave him a shout out. He has been a supporter of this channel since the very, very beginning. Probably one of the first 15 to 20 subs to this channel. So, and right beneath him is Nolte, who I probably should mention that about also. He's an OG original supporter right from the very, very beginning. And so is the man on the screen that you're looking at right next to me. John the Postman has been with me from the very, very beginning. My first viewer on me and my brother's watch party. So when we do our watch parties, we'll always remember John was the first person to ever join us and watch. We weren't alone. We didn't have 0 viewers. Thanks to John. John was there, and other people eventually joined, and it started to grow, and I'm expecting it to grow a little bit this year. What do you think, John?
Yeah. If anybody's in the chat that didn't get to see that from last year, it's a great time.
Kay Newen, I love
the energy.
Love the energy. Love it, love it, love it. You know what? It's not impossible. People I know it might seem unlikely, and it's not what people expect. It's definitely not impossible. If he throws 40 touchdowns, he's definitely over 4,000 yards. There's no way he would throw 40 touchdowns and it not be over 4,000 yards. Now, the only problem I have with this is not the talent. I'm not doubting that he can hit the number of – he could definitely hit 4,000 yards. Like, I'm not even going to – forget that stat. That's easy. I'm not saying it's easy to do. I'm saying it's easy to believe. The 40 touchdowns is hard to believe for only one reason. It has nothing to do with his talent. He has all the talent in the world, and in some systems, I could see it in a heartbeat.
Just don't throw that much.
It's just that we don't throw that much. And our running game is going to get – with Breece Hall and Lincoln Tomlinson and Becton returning is going to be really good. So it would be really hard for Zach to put up those numbers. But the talent, if he was in the right situation, if he's on the old San Diego Chargers or the old Miami Dolphins – do I think he could like those numbers? Do I think they're realistic? Absolutely 100% realistic. It's just the system he's in. That's going to be the challenge. What's good, my brother? Thanks for the kind words. Of course, man. Dom C has a question.
It's just a ghost. I have I have 2 thermal detonators because obviously, like I live in Florida, I can just go to the Star Wars world. I have the Sprite and the Coca-Cola one. And just like this just fell off of. I was like, "What the crap going on?" And boom! Someone dropped a thermal detonator on me.
Yeah. Question for John: who's your favorite Jets player this year in regards to fantasy production? It's a great question.
Ooh, my favorite that I have projected with the most points right now is Elijah Moore. I have
really.
Projected with 833 yards and 7 touchdowns.
Wow. That's really interesting. Because me and Dom have a new show that we're doing every Wednesday now. It's called Fantasy Island, where we're just talking fantasy football and stuff. Like we both love fantasy football, and so we have that show that we're doing on Wednesdays. And we both agreed that we think that I think we both agreed. I don't want to speak for Dom. He can correct me if I'm wrong here. Where I think Hall is going to be the biggest fantasy producer this year for the team. I don't see how he's not.
And I do have Hall second, only about 10 points behind him. So,
wow, that's really interesting. So let me ask this question, right? Because I had the belief that what we would see is we might see Elijah Moore start hot and then tail off towards the back end of the year, and we might see the opposite from Brees Hall, where he's going to start off slow and then pick up steam towards the back end of the year. My belief with that came the hardest part of our schedule is the first half of the season. So we might be throwing a lot more if we're coming from behind, like, in games, you tend to throw more to try to catch up quickly, where I think in the back half after the bye, we'll be leading more games. So we'll be running the ball more. So I just think it's really interesting, that dynamic and stuff. And I gotta where's my lightsaber? It's over there. Don't make me whip it out. Okay?
I
had a custom made lightsaber, my guy.
Where's my lightsaber?
It's right there in the corner.
Where's my lightsaber? That's great. What a great response. Where's my lightsaber? That doesn't change the reality that it might have been.
It wasn't. I was alive when those movies came out.
No, the original 3 from the 70s.
We're not talking about those.
What was his reference? What was his reference? What was the reference he's talking about? I missed it.
Thermal detonators.
Oh, thermal detonators. Okay.
Which they didn't even have thermal detonators in the original 4, 5, and 6. Thermal detonators are from 1, 2, and 3. You jag. I've got the whole Star Wars shelf up there. I'm just missing Darth Vader's helmet.
Thermal detonator is from Return of the Jedi.
There's not a thermal detonator in Return of the Jedi, is there?
It is. Where? When Princess Leia pulls one out and C-3PO says, and he says, if you don't take that price, he's going to let he's got a thermal detonator, and it was ticking. And then Jabba the Hutt said, "Oh, you're one."
Oh, you're right. Shut up. You're right. Yeah, you're right.
You're talking to a guy who has probably 300 different Star Wars action figures in its original box, 5 feet away from him.
I've got the Lego setup right there. I've got a Scout Trooper helmet, Boba Fett's helmet, Red 5 helmet. Like I said, the only thing I'm missing for my setup over there is Darth Vader's helmet, and my shelf, my Star Wars shelf is done. Lego Star Wars shelf is done.
Yes. Matthew Smith. Now he doesn't, but everybody knows Star Wars because now it's like on the Disney Channel. We got all these amazing shows. The Obi-Wan show was great. I loved it. The Boba Fett's the best though. No, not the Boba Fett. The Mandalorian is the best.
Yeah.
Mandalorian's the best by far. And I love the crossover of Mandalorian to Boba Fett.
I was just going to say Boba Fett, the last 3 episodes were Mandalorian episodes anyway.
And that's why they were the best episodes. But hey, we're gonna get the Obi-Wan was great at what the way it ended was great. I loved it. I love the whole like creativity and the way they made it.
Am I the only person who kind of didn't like? I love Ewan McGregor as Obi-Wan Kenobi, and I would love to see more of Ewan McGregor as Obi-Wan Kenobi, but like I kind of didn't want that series.
Really, I just want to see him.
I enjoyed it.
I want to see him fight Darth Maul.
Leia, and all that stuff. But I'm kind of with some guy. Like my thing is I always liked the idea of Obi-Wan going to Tatooine and never leaving, in a sense, punishing himself for not being able to stop, Anakin's transformation into Vader. Like I always liked the idea of him punishing himself by being on Tatooine that whole time and having that struggle and all that stuff. It was one of the things that like made me really respect the character growth in the whole thing. Kind of giving him this story arc where he leaves Tatooine to go get Leia. I don't know. I enjoyed it, but I just kind of wanted him to like just be okay. And I just don't like where they're going with Obi-Wan. Now Obi-Wan might be bi, and it's just like, why do we care? They're Jedi. They don't form attachments. Like we need to can they just be Jedi? Can they just have cool swords that cut through things?
I don't know. I just want to see him fight Darth Maul. So,
they don't meet though in the storyline.
They might one day.
Well, Obi-Wan is who kills Darth Maul in the end.
Right. So I'm saying, will they ever show that?
They did. Star Wars Rebels.
No. Yeah, Rebels. But I mean, I want to see one act. I want to act it out. I want to act it out the real way.
I know. I'm just.
I thought you were going to say, in the Phantom Menace, and I was going to say,
no, he's not dead.
He didn't die.
No. They killed him in Rebels.
They did.
Damn. Well, I just lost that bit.
Good night to Dom C. He's probably gone by now. Dom
Yep.
C. He's going to edit the article. He wants to show off how important he is. By the way, another announcement. Did anybody join yet? I got to check my notifications, see if anybody joined the channel. I don't think anybody joined and became a member yet because I'm not seeing any of the evidence. Like I would see a star next to their name. So none of you have joined for the price of a cup of coffee. Okay, I got to do a better job advertising and promoting my membership.
Yes, you do.
program.
Yeah.
Guys, you could become a snacker. Be a snacker. It's going to come with all kinds of cool things. One of the emojis is a slice of pizza. There's my bald head emoji, for Jets Chaos that you see in the top right corner of the screen. And I'm going to add really cool emojis in the future. Once I get a few followers, I get to add more. I'm going to add more cool ones. I just rushed through it and I was impatient, but I'm going to add cool ones. You just got to join. Next to the subscribe button where you already subscribed, Tigo, tell them how to join.
Yeah, after you hit subscribe, you should see a blue join button. That's really it. It's right there on the bottom of the video. If you're a subscriber, you just hit that join button and then you can pay $2.99. But don't spend all your money. Save some money for when I get my join button.
Some people don't see the join button, and it's true. And I don't know why. I don't know why that is. If you're subscribed to the channel, you're supposed to see it. I used to never see it for for Jets Talk 24/7 for a long time, and then one day all of a sudden it was there, and I was like, and I joined.
Because it's still a relatively new feature. We have to remember that YouTube is relatively new into the live streaming game, in the sense of like they're really trying to be able to compete with all of the functionality and the stuff that Twitch provides. So it's just one of those situations. Like Twitch really has it down to an art.
Yeah,
like the whole live shows and doing things like that. And there you go, first member.
There you go, first member.
Serious Iowan. All right. There you go. I got a member. All right. Iowan Jetsman became a YouTube member. Everybody give a shout out. And hey, Iowan, every time somebody in the future joins, can you please type in the pizza? That's right. Type in the pizza. He did it before I even asked him. That's the one I want to see, the pizza one. So every time someone joins, we give them pizza. Okay. So just do the pizzas. He's doing the hamburger. What is it? He's showing all them. He's showing them off for us. Thank you, man. He's helping us out. Look at him. Iowan is helping. He's helping. Aw, he does love me. I just want to be able to, like Frankie does. He always, every time sees it, like on Green Bean Channel, he says, "Oh, by the way, he's in Frankie's army." I want to be able to say he's one of the Chaos Snackers. Oh, they don't show the emojis on here. Look at that.
No, they don't. I don't know why they don't do that.
That's interesting. Okay, remember, we're gonna, like, our thing when we welcome new members is to show the pizza. Try to remember.
Offer them a slice.
Yeah. But I got my first number. I feel so happy now. I got to see which level he joins. Maybe he was a super. Maybe he's a super snacker. Maybe that means I have to have a one-on-one live stream for him.
Just with him, just chat for 45 minutes.
Just with him.
That doesn't sound like a bad time. That sounds like you would have a blast.
It's fun to be a member. It's fun to be a snacker. Trust me. There's nothing like being a snacker. He goes, okay, hold on, show. You see, it asks to show that, so I hit the show button. So, all right. Anyway,
bro, Kyler can't hang. Buffalo, Kyler can't hang.
Tigo is playing the Kyler Murray COD.
Got my controller right here. I'm always ready to game.
Anyway, yeah. So what were we talking about? We were talking about Zach. We talked a lot about Zach Wilson today. I gotta say, and it makes sense. But like, I'm hoping he looks good tomorrow. But how many people do you think are excited to see the people that get to go? I'm jealous. Sauce Gardner,
right?
How exciting!
That's what I'm saying. Like, those are I don't care about Zach. I trust and believe in Zach. I want to see Sauce. I want to see JJ. I want to see DJ Reed. I want to see Whitehead. I want to see this defense. Like, that's what I want to watch. I want to see those guys on the field. Like, it's just, I'm so sad it's not going to be streamed.
And I think this year we are going to see just how big of an injury it was last year losing Carl Lawson.
Oh, yeah. Not just Carl Lawson. Like, we lost so many good players last year in this, like impactful players, like players that could have really helped our team in a big way, like on the offense and on the defense. It's just sad to see it, because I always think last year is going to be the what if year. What if Marcus May doesn't get hurt? You know, what if we have Carl Lawson and Vinny Curry the whole year? What if Mekhi Becton doesn't get hurt? It's gonna be the year of the what ifs. What if Zach doesn't get hurt? Does he still have that turnaround? And so it's just like, it sucks that's the situation, and that's what happened. But like, the past is in the past. It's just, I want to watch it so bad. I just like, can it be the 12th yet? Like, can we just get to the first preseason game already?
So many. I mean, there's so much. I wanted to show this because this is how I feel. There's so many I want to see. There's so many things. It's hard to even nail down. It's like, yeah, I want to see Zach again. Like, we forget about like that for a while when we had all these new toys to talk about. But like, the number one thing above all is Zach, right? I want to see him exploding and becoming a great quarterback, because we've been longing for this for so long. But then to see the offensive line with Becton and Lincoln Tomlinson and AVT in his second year, right? To see Garrett Wilson and Elijah Moore lining up, to see Breece Hall, to have Michael Carter back healthy, because he's great too. And then to see JJ on the defensive side, and to have Carl Lawson. How are we not going crazy to see him again? And then Sauce Gardner and Whitehead and Reed. It's endless.
Nick Bawden.
So much. Huh? Yeah,
Nick Bawden.
Yep.
I love Nick Bawden. Maybe Nick
Bawden is like a top 5 Jet, in my opinion. I'm not kidding.
You love him.
He is. I was a little upset with Buffalo Jet fan, because I have been working and creating, and I'm still going to do it, and like producing a video where I'm just going to talk about why Nick Bawden is so important to this offense and why he's one of the most underrated players for this team. Because I think, truthfully and honestly, Nick Bawden is going to have such a big impact on this team next year. He is, at the fullback position, I think, going to be that important. And when he scores a fullback dive, I'm going to be unbearable. We're going to be on the 1 or the 2 yard line, and we're going to do a fullback dive. He's going to run up the A gap, and he's going to get a touchdown. And I'm going to run through my neighborhood naked, just screaming from the top of my lungs, because I love that guy.
Wow. Yeah. Look, Buffalo's going to be like that, because you got to understand, but Buffalo Jets fan's an asshole, right? So, being that he's an asshole, he's not going to appreciate your takes on Nick Bawden, because he's an asshole. So I appreciate your takes on Nick.
No, he was talking positively about Nick Bawden. He just beat me to the punch.
Oh.
He wasn't talking badly about Nick Bawden. He was like, Nick Bawden is a great player. He's a great fullback. And his production didn't show it, but he's an underrated player.
The fact that Buffalo Jets fan beat you to the punch is even worse. And that's why he's not an asshole. He's an incredibly large asshole. It's an incredibly large asshole, because he knew you were going to like him. He didn't let you take your take on him before he jumped in and he took your take. So that makes him an incredibly large asshole. So
I'm gonna make an 8-minute video.
Established that Buffalo Jets fan is an incredibly large asshole. I'm waiting for him to come to the chat to defend himself, but he hasn't. So I'm gonna be in a lot of trouble. We're not
the only way I can be safe from Buffalo Jet fan and like beating me to the punch is if I made like an 8 or a 9-minute video on our long snapper Thomas Hennessy, because he's a top 10 long snapper in this league. The guy just throws strikes, but who cares about long snappers? Like, I'd get 2 views. One of them would be me and my wife, and the other one would be Bill Belichick, because he loves long snappers.
I just lost like 30 subscribers just left. He's cursing. He's saying he's calling Buffalo Jets an asshole. He's my buddy. I'm allowed to bust his chops. Okay. Yeah, he's got company over. It'd be funny if he said, "Hey, listen to my friend Jeremy. He does a show also." And right at that moment, he put it up and he turned the volume up, and all of his company, they're sitting at like a dinner table, like drinking wine after dinner, and they're enjoying themselves. And all they hear is Buffalo Jets fans an asshole, an incredible asshole, an incredibly large asshole.
It's a fun time.
Look, what I like about Bodden is, and it's funny that people said, somebody asked who's going to make the roster, Wesco or Bodden, and I'm like, are you kidding
That's
me?
hilarious.
How could you ask that when we
That's
picked him up?
hilarious that you think Wesco has a chance.
Did anybody notice what happened to our running game when Bodden started playing?
Thank you.
Does anybody notice it? No one noticed what happened to our running game. We actually went back to a 21 or 22 personnel because we were able to find him and got him on the team. That's why we were able to return. We were playing 21 and 22 personnel. We abandoned it because Wesco couldn't do it and it wasn't working. And then we got bored and went back to it and it worked. Like, so there's no question of who's making the roster. Wesco is a hard no.
Wesco's the guy that you trade that's eventually going to get cut on another team.
Mm-hmm. Right. I don't know what we can get for him, but you never know.
We can get something. We got something for, what was it, like Brown? And then he get cut and then we picked them back up?
We got something for Brown, and we also got something for we got from Minnesota, and now he's on the Saints, Herndon or whatever.
Oh, yeah, Chris Herndon, yep.
Yeah, we got something for him, but getting something for get the guys that we get, and it's amazing that getting the Dr. Blocker last year, as Frankie likes to call him, getting Dr. Blocker, and for a guy who eventually got cut and we took back in Brown that's just a clear representation of the brilliance of Joe Douglas. Yeah, it's good. Look, we paid our dues. They picked a certain strategy. We didn't baby Zach Wilson. We didn't give him a watered down version. We said, we're putting you in our system. Here you go. We're throwing you into the fire. But guess what? In the end of the day, I think that's going to make him a better quarterback at the end of the day.
It was almost foolish how we handled the first year and kind of gave him the full playbook, but it was one of those things where it's just like, because he was given the full playbook, he's now comfortable this year with the full playbook.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, but that was like what people don't understand. That's why JD and Zach and LaFleur, and that's why those guys don't care about what the media is saying, and they're not worried because they're like, what did we expect? We just gave them one of the most complicated, complex offenses you can give a quarterback, and with no full offseason, basically getting drafted, and just we threw it on them. And we didn't block for him, and we gave him receivers that dropped the ball left and right. I mean, what did you expect to happen? But I love that they threw him in the fire because it forced him to know what it's like. If they would have babied him, they would have had to then when they gave him the full offense, he would have first had to do it in real life. Now, at least that's all water under the bridge. Like, he's got it in his system. He got to see everything. He got to run the offense in the toughest climate, right? I mean, he lost, especially at the end of the season, he lost his running back, he lost his receivers, he lost his offensive linemen, and he's
throwing a Keelan Cole and Jeff Smith.
And he still almost beat Tampa Bay.
Mm-hmm.
So what is he going to be like when everybody's back and we're at full strength and he has a full offseason under his belt? You got to be excited.
You got a lot of exciting things going on.
A lot of excited things.
Who's a player that's currently on the Jets roster that you think gets cut but will be productive on some other team? Who's someone who gets cut because we have a wealth of experience at that, or a wealth of talent, goes to another team, makes their 53-man roster, and is productive?
Kenny Yeboah.
I don't think he makes it out. I think he stays on the team. I think we practice squad him. I don't think he gets picked up off of the waivers.
Dunn, the cornerback.
Interesting.
At least undrafted free agent, might develop into a player someday, but he might survive on our practice squad because nobody's heard of him. I could see us a defensive lineman for sure. God forbid, I don't want to, but if they were to cut Bryce Huff,
you got to trade Bryce Huff. Bryce Huff has value.
Yeah,
I know you got to trade him. If anything,
you cut him, somebody's picking him up.
Yeah, you can't cut Huff. You trade him.
Cut Huff. You have to trade him. He's too valuable to cut. But let's say he makes the roster and we cut Marshall. let's say we cut. I mean, any of those guys. There's so many guys. What if Curry? Gets
That's
cut?
my answer. Is Vinny Curry? Vinny Curry
Right.
Vinny Curry doesn't have a trade value in my opinion because of his age. Like,
But he can go somewhere and be productive.
you can cut him, but he would go he could go to Houston and like be helpful in Houston.
Mm-hmm.
Like
Mike
Houston
White.
could
Mike
use him.
White.
Like what?
Mike White gets traded.
What about any of the running backs? P. Ryan or Ty Johnson?
Yeah,
I think Ty Johnson is running back 3.
Maybe we'll see. Did you hear what happened with Bam Knight? Zonovan Knight?
No,
He broke a 70-yard touchdown to end practice today
against
And
the ones.
I don't know, but Salah was
I
talking about him having a great camp, and
Yeah, but he survives on the practice squad.
I hope so. I hope he survives. But Perrine could go and be productive. You never know. Let's say he goes to a place and he's somebody
P. Ryan
gets
will end
hurt,
up
and the next thing you know, he's getting snaps.
P. Ryan will end up in like a pretty good system for him, and he can be productive. That's a good answer.
Yeah. But you're right, Mike White, Huff, guys like that. If they don't make the roster, it better be that they're traded. You don't cut them and give people. You don't.
I made a video about it. I think that there's really 5 players that we can get away with trading, and that we should look into possibly trading because of the fact that I think we've got a wealth of experience at these positions, and I think that these players have value. And the 5, let me pull it up. The 5 players that I picked were the first one was one of the backup quarterbacks. I think either Mike White or Joe Flacco needs to get traded. We can't carry 3 quarterbacks. It's just not feasible with the roster that we have. Mike White and Joe Flacco don't clear waivers and make it to the practice squad. So ultimately, you got to trade one of those guys away. So my thing is who has you try to trade away Joe Flacco or Mike White. In my opinion, I would prefer to trade Mike White because he's younger. You probably get more value out of him. And I want to see Garrett Wilson in that number 5 jersey. So it's a win-win. So that was the first one. The second one was Trayvon Wesco. He right now is tight end number 4. I don't think we carry 4 tight ends going into this year. I think we carry 3. I think we know who those 3 are in CJ, Tyler, and Jeremy. Where does Wesco come in? And I think Wesco can definitely be a productive tight end, a tight end 3 for some team out there who needs a tight end 3 who can also take fullback snaps, not great fullback snaps.
We have an asshole chiming in.
Oh man.
The guy who beat you to Nick Bodden and did a video before you, asshole move, needs to chime in. By the way, he beats everybody to anything you want to do because he does 15 videos a day. All right. So there's no way to get a video. Anytime I have an idea, I look, he's already done it, or it comes out in the next 5 minutes of when I have the idea because he's releasing a video every 5 minutes. So there's no beating this guy to the punch. You know what I mean? But Mike White is a practice squad quarterback who had a great game. He played a little bit more. He had a little bit more than a great game. It was a great game and some, but then he got hurt.
A Hall of Fame game.
But
look, I'm not saying that he's a starting quarterback in this league. I'm saying he has trade value. Somebody will trade for him.
5th round pick.
I have no idea. I'll tell you in a second.
Right. Maybe a 5th round pick, something.
He was a 5th round pick. But like what I'm saying is like you're not going to carry 3 guys. So if someone needs a backup, you can trade Mike White for a 5th, a 6th, the 7th round pick. And I'd like to have those picks. Those are your practice squad guys. Those are the guys that fill in the bottom half of your roster. We're in that mode now. We're not. I'm hoping that we're not having super high picks in the first round. So our scouting team that's what I'm saying.
If we didn't have Joe Flacco playing so well, I would be happy. I'm not overhyping him. I'd be happy with Mike White as a backup quarterback. I'm not saying he's a starter. I'm not hyping him. I think he's a good backup, like Kelly Clemens, a backup quarterback. But Joe Flacco's playing too well to cut.
Yeah, and I'd rather have the Super Bowl winning quarterback as my backup, mentoring my young guy. So I thought, obviously, one of the 2 quarterbacks, Trayvon Wesco, might have some value, especially on a team that needs a 3rd tight end who can also play a fullback. The other one is one of Bryce Huff or Jabari Zuniga. And the reason I said that is I don't think both of those guys can make the roster. Maybe if we carry 11 defensive linemen, but those are the guys that I look at that are like young enough that they have trade value. And then the two ones that got me a bunch of people yelling at me in my video in the comment section was obviously Denzel Mims and Bryce Hall. And obviously Denzel Mims, I don't want to trade him. I love Denzel Mims, but can you really keep a guy that's that talented at wide receiver 5 or 6 when you can trade him away to a team that doesn't have any wide receivers, who desperately needs wide receivers, and could get you anywhere from a 3rd to a 5th round pick? And I think Zuniga would get you like a 6th or a 7th, but Huff could get you more.
Mm-hmm.
That's why, in my opinion, the person that you trade is Bryce Huff, because you didn't invest any capital to get him. He was an undrafted free agent, and whatever you get for him is a bonus. So if you trade Huff, because remember, we're talking about edge rusher number 6 at this point.
Yeah, but
that's what Bryce Huff or Zuniga are.
Wait. And Huff is healthy. He's good. And I want to say Huff has the best bend on the team.
He does. But that doesn't, you're still talking about edge 6, right? He's the least important of the edges that we have is Bryce Huff, because there are 5 edges on this team, really 6 or 7 if you count, depending on how you count JFM and Solomon Thomas and things like that, because they bump in and out. He's the 6th best edge rusher on the team. So like my thing is the gap between Huff that much bigger from Zuniga? Is that gap so big that you would rather take the 6th round pick that you would get for Zuniga versus the 4th round pick that you might get for Huff? That's the thing that you've got to, and I don't have that answer. Only Joe Douglas is going to have that answer and that evaluation. But it's just an interesting conversation to have. And then obviously Bryce Hall and Denzel Mims, like you got to look at trading them because they're luxury players. They're good players that have starting level caliber or experience at the deepest positions on the team now. So
look, I would like to see us be like manage to pull something in for some of these guys that we're going to have to cut. We're going to have to cut some good guys. I would like to see some of them, bring in some value. I don't know if anybody can do it. It's JD. I want to quickly say, because I have to get ready to shut down. The pure adrenaline fantasy sports. I want everyone to know, if you're playing fantasy football this year, if you're involved in fantasy football, there is absolutely ridiculously no reason not to make sure you watch John's channel, because he gives has tons of stats, data, information, ranks players. It's just good to have another voice. He has a friend, Sean, that's in there too, and they'll give their opinions and their takes on who you should start if you're torn between 2 players. And you can feel confident that you're not making a ridiculous decision, because they will give you factual information and give you the stats. And it's just easier to do that than have to sit there and do research on your own. Who has time to research every player, every decision? So I highly recommend that he does post his videos on YouTube still. But if you want to get him up to date, if you want to watch him live at the moment, especially on Sunday mornings, right before the games, when you have to make those last second decisions, he's going to tell you how to find him, because I know how to find him on Twitch, but I'm going to make sure that he gives the best way to find him on Twitch. Support this guy, and go ahead, John, tell him where to find you and how to find you on Twitch.
Well, first off, thank you very much, Jeremy, for having me on again. Like you said, it has been a while since I've been on. But over on Twitch, if you go to twitch.com, type in Pure Adrenaline Football. My buddy Sean and I live stream over there every Thursday at 7 p.m. Eastern time and Sundays at noon, giving you all the Sean does a great job, especially during the season, to keeping up to date on all the injury news. So he'll always break something on, especially Sunday mornings. He'll break some news that I hadn't heard yet. Like I said, over on twitch.com, Pure Adrenaline Football. And once again, Jeremy, thank you for having me on.
You were great tonight. Thanks for coming on. And Tigo.
Yes, sir.
You doing videos again? You want people to
Yeah,
find
no,
you?
I'm kidding. I'm just messing. Yeah, so we're doing videos. I'm doing videos obviously again on my channel, trying to do them obviously as regularly as I can. Like I mentioned earlier, me and Dom just started a new live show every Wednesday at 9, Fantasy Island, where we'll be talking fantasy football as well, and our takes on it, and drafting strategy and player rankings and risers, fallers, who you should avoid, why you should avoid, matchups, everything like that. Get all the news on Wednesday night before the games. We're really excited for that. And that's really it. Like I said, we're marching to 1,000 subscribers, actually past 900 subscribers during the live stream. So that was awesome. So yeah, it's good to see the channel growing again relatively quickly and picking up steam. I was scared when I took that break with the baby that like the channel would lose a lot of its momentum, and it's good to see that it hasn't. But it's just exciting to be back, excited to see, Jets football again, and that's really it.
That's cool. That's cool. I'm glad that it's growing too. I didn't see that. So you're heading right towards 1,000. That's awesome, my friend. That's great. I don't know how you do it. You're, I mean, the speed in which you did that was it's just incredible. It's super impressive. I gotta look more at what you're doing and figure out what you guys are doing right. Just for my videos. I mean, I love my live shows are going great, but my vids don't go really beyond my subscribers, and I got to figure out why. So I'm working on it. I'm trying to figure out why they're not getting out there. But you guys obviously have the formula, so I'll figure it out eventually. Hader Ali is saying good night. Good night, man. You guys, you know me again. I have the membership now. Thank you for Tigo for finding it and reading it out for people. And thank you, Iowan, for becoming my first snacker. And thanks to everyone that participated, that watched. Thank you for the super chatters. I appreciate that as well. Man, I appreciate you guys for being here. Everyone, great show, great time tonight. I will be on. I don't know. I'm going to try to push for a Sunday night show, but I don't want to do it alone. I'd rather do it with Dom C. We had a great show last week, so I was hoping we could do it again, but that's based on his availability. I'll contact him privately. Keep your eyes open. If you see a show advertised for Sunday night, we might be back. I might come back anyway, even if he can't. Maybe get one of these guys on, but try to give you more content. You know what I mean? So check us out. Jets Chaos. And you're already here. If you haven't liked the video, please hit the like button. If you haven't subscribed, certainly do that if you want more content. And I will leave you with... Don't not be Thibodeau. And here it comes. It's about to come in. Oh, my God. They didn't. They took Sauce Gardner. Oh, my God. They don't want an edge. Maybe he likes Jermaine Johnson at 10. Then we're not going to get a wide receiver? Garrett Wilson, wide receiver. Oh, my God. No edge.
Was sitting there
The Jets traded up. The Jets traded up. Are we taking JJ? Are we taking JJ? Because I know Braden is in New Zealand saying, we should get Lily, Mike. He's definitely saying that. JJ! We got Johnson! We got Johnson at 26! We got Johnson at 26! This is great! Yes! They took Roger McCreary. They didn't take Dean, and we traded up. We can get the Kobe Dean. We can get the Kobe Dean. It really is. They took Breece Hall. They took Breece Hall. Wow. I mean, look, I love Breece Hall. But there's also Jeremy Ruckert, who I think is the best tight end in the class personally. They took Jeremy Ruckert. He took Jeremy Ruckert. Yes! We got a Jeremy. We got a Jeremy. Oh, and the Jets pick, and it's Max Mitchell, offensive tackle. We needed that. That's wow. We took Michael Clemens. I never heard of him. A defensive edge.